have to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Peterson. Good morning. How y'all? It's Wednesday again. I don't know. One day we'll be able to explain what's going on with time and fast, how fast it seems to go, or is it not happening at all? You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question, and it's a doozy. My biblical question for this week: is your life one collision after another? Is your life one collision after another? Have you ever noticed that? Now you will, for those who want to notice. Those who don't, I wish you well. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com. JesseLeePeterson.com. Every way that you can watch and support the show. And if you're busy, no matter where you are and what you're doing, what is Hayes saying to me?
The biblical question is, why is your life one collision after another?
What did I say?
Is your life?
Oh, why is your life one collision after another? That's the biblical question. Why is your life? It's not, is it that way? Because it really is that way. But why is your life one collision after another one, right? And if you're busy out and about, you can podcast all the shows. But if you're busy running around, you can listen to the show live. You can podcast, but you could be listening while you're doing what you're doing, where you're doing, what you look like you're doing. By calling the listen line at TalkStream Live, 605-615-4131, 605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. And Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. All right. Manhood Hour. Manhood Hour is coming up in the third hour every Wednesday. Manhood Hour. Rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. But for now, the greatest hour of all hours, my friend, my nonprofit friend, the world's friend, the next president after Donald Trump, the smartest white man on this, one of the smartest white men on this side of heaven is here. It's the end of the month again. And Bill Lockwood is here. And Bill is the host of Patriot Patriotic Pulpit. Patriotic Pulpit. And Bible Studies with Bill Lockwood. He's a preacher of Our Park Church of Christ in Texas. And I'm encouraging you to support him. All right? Support Bill. His work is desperately needed. Really. And I'm not just saying that, folks. And so go to American Liberty with BillLockwood.com. American Liberty with BillLockwood.com. All right. Bill.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you today?
All is well. How are you, sir?
Great. It's great to be with you again. Thank you for the plug there.
Oh, yeah. I really do want people to help you because you're doing some serious work. You're really putting the truth out there that we all need to know. I've learned so much from you that it's not even funny. It's amazing.
Well, thank you for that, Jesse. Well, I try. I'm a student and I try to put it out there, but thank you so much for that. I enjoy you and I sure appreciate your stand for truth.
Yeah, we got to stand. So I got to ask, so much I want to talk to you about. For right now, how are you seeing things? How do you see what's happening in my country right now?
Well, in my view, I'm going to quote Christopher Rufo. Christopher Rufo wrote a book regarding the takeover of America by socialism, communism, and how the radical left has won everything. And his latest book, anyway, he says in the book, he says really they're at the end game. They're at the final conclusion point of it. That is, we've been going down a socialistic track for almost 100 years, maybe a little bit more than 100 years at least. But he says they're at the end game now, and that's why we're seeing so much violence, and that's why we're seeing so much rancorous activity in America, because they're trying to put the capstone on it at this particular point. And that's what they're trying to do. They tried to do it with Barack Obama. We kind of resisted, and we had Donald Trump come in there, but boy, they came unglued at that particular point. And then, of course, we have Joe Biden, who's just sold us down the river, and then Kamala Harris. They're just going to finish us off into this communistic, socialistic state.
Amazing. I was thinking about the illegal alien situation, and though I wasn't paying a lot of attention to politics when Ronald Reagan was in there, but I do remember an uproar about amnesty, and it seemed like Ronald Reagan was one of the first presidents who allowed amnesty under the promise that it would only last for so long, it would be the only one or something like that. And I remember some Republicans saying that it wasn't true. And it seemed as though Ronald Reagan opened the floodgate of amnesty in America. Is that true, or am I seeing that wrong?
No, I think you're correct on that. Now, my understanding of that, and if I'm incorrect on this, I'm happy to be corrected. But my understanding is Ronald Reagan had made a deal with the Democrats, Tip O'Neill. And the deal was that they were going to secure the border. The Senate was going to secure the border, but they wanted to have amnesty for I think it was like something like, I don't know, maybe 1 million or 2 million illegals that were in here at that particular time. So he gave amnesty under the impression that the border would be sealed. But that is what the Democrats refused to do. They never sealed the border, and Reagan said it was one of his mistakes because they absolutely did not follow through with their promise. They don't follow through with their promises. They talk a big game, but they don't do it because they want illegals. They dislike America. They hate the America that we have. And so they want to absolutely change the culture entirely of it. And so we have really what is a cultural war going on. That's what Christopher Rufo's book's all about. But we have a cultural war. And the reason Democrats by the way, to allow the illegals in here as they have done is not only a cultural war, but it is a violation of law. Kamala Harris has overseen, along with Joe Biden, the destruction of the American law system by the breakdown of the border. It's all illegal. And she doesn't want to call them illegal. She's on tape now. We see on tape saying, give them all amnesty because that's all they want. They can't win on their ideas. So they ended up flooding America with illegals. And the chaos that we see is the result of their desire.
Yeah. Were you surprised when they imposed the Haitian on the people in Ohio, a little small town in Ohio out of nowhere, and now down in Ohio area there's nothing but chaos. The blacks are eating the cats and the dogs and the ducks from the ponds, and it's just nothing but chaos, car accidents and all kinds of stuff. Were you surprised when they dumped the blacks on the white people in Ohio?
No, they wanted to do that. See, Barack Obama had done that himself. He had flown huge groups of Muslims from the Middle East, and they just flew them over the border. They airlifted them in, so they don't cross the border actually on foot. They airlift them in, and so what did he do? He put huge minority populations, for example, in Amarillo, Texas. So in Amarillo, which was a huge conservative stronghold, they actually dilute the voting bloc by doing that. And that's what Barack Obama did. That's what Joe Biden is doing. So he puts them into these big conservative zones, and he absolutely destroys the voting bloc as well as the peace and law and order of those particular neighborhoods. And that is not surprising. That's what they want. FDR said this, Jesse, that in politics, nothing happens by accident. This is not accidental. This is not something, that's too bad that happened. I can't believe that happened. No, this is what they desire. This is what they knew was going to happen. This is what they planned for the chaos for America.
When you first heard about the assassination attempts on Donald Trump, the Great White Hope, what were your first thoughts? Were you surprised? And then the way it's been dealt with now, they're trying to blame Donald Trump for it, saying that his rhetoric is causing it. And were you surprised, and are you surprised at the way that the government is dealing with it, almost like it's not a big deal?
Right, yeah. So when Donald Trump was first elected, it's interesting that we had people declaring that these celebrities and liberals declaring that they were going to blow up the White House, that they were going to have him assassinated. Snoop Dogg had a video in which he depicted the assassination of Donald Trump. Don't tell me it's Donald Trump's rhetoric. This is how the left has behaved from the time he was elected. Before he even took seat in office, they were already talking violently about getting rid of the president. Then you have Katie Griffin, who is out there depicting a beheading of Donald Trump. And this was going on and on and on. They talked about the loss of our democracy. They don't even know what democracy is. But at any rate, they're the ones who started this all. They started that before he even did one legislative act or one executive action.
And so when you heard of that first attack, when they shot him in the ear,
right?
And then what were your thoughts with the first attack, assassination attempt?
Well, I just thought the deep state has ginned up enough hatred against Donald Trump that they are actually going to try to carry this out. And I thought I didn't know that he had only been wounded so slightly, but I have felt in my bones for a long time that this is what they have desired. This is what they've wanted. This is what they've talked about. They've done everything except put the gun in the hands of assassins and sent them out there. They've done everything but that. And so now we have another guy that was at the golf course trying the same thing. But these people are, you know what? Vladimir Lenin said it best. He said that we have a country of useful idiots. They're useful to the left, and they're idiots because they are controlled by the mainstream media, the leftist media, who gins up hatred against Donald Trump and anyone who wants to roll back the size of government. Anybody who's a conservative of any kind, they want to roll it back, and they want to destroy that person. And that's exactly what's happening here.
And now they're saying, some news outlets are reporting that Iran, I think it's Iran, want to take him out too. And right. they have somehow or another gotten into his computer system and all that kind of stuff. And the Democrats still don't care. I'm stunned because I'm learning as I talk to you about this. I'm stunned that our government, the American government, is so against the people and hunger and thirst after power and wealth that they would do almost anything to get it. And now I'm concerned that Donald Trump won't make it until the election time. I just don't know what to think at this point.
Well, it is difficult to swallow, and I think it is so evil and wicked, as you understand also, that I think American people have a hard time believing that we can have such a deep state that is so wicked and so evil.
Yeah.
For example, the Biden White House has been in joining hands with the prosecutorial business in New York and in Georgia, trying to put Trump behind bars. Yeah. What is the president of the United States, the Democrat Party, doing, joining with the prosecutors at local places, trying to get them to put Donald Trump away? You know, the depth of their wickedness knows no bounds. It is. We don't know how deep it is. So I would not be surprised if the Biden administration is not somehow knowing about some of these things, at least from Iran, knowing about these. You know what? By the way, at the Pennsylvania attack against Donald Trump, do you know the Secret Service had resisted having a counter sniper for months previous? That was the first time, I understand, that they had a counter sniper on the roof. They had resisted that. They didn't want to do it. As a matter of fact, Democrats have wanted to pull away the Secret Service protection from Donald Trump. Some of the congressmen did that because, well, he's a convicted felon, so therefore he should have no Secret Service protection. You know very well what they know what's going to happen here. They absolutely know that we have wickedness in this country, and there are a lot of people willing to pull the trigger. And that's exactly what I think the Democrats are all about.
There are people who believe that Donald Trump, it's crazy. I've literally spoken to people who believe that the whole assassination attempt on Donald Trump, the first one and the second, was a setup. They're saying that Donald Trump did that in order to get attention because he was losing, they say, and he was trying to bring himself back up in the poll, and that he was losing. And they believe that the whole thing was planned.
Yeah, I tell you what. Now just think about that. How stupid is that thought that Donald Trump would plan that he said, I want a sniper over here 130 yards away, and I'm going to turn my head, and I want you to take off my right ear. You know what? There is no way anybody would be. I can't believe anybody would be so stupid as to believe that I'm going to stand up there and allow a guy with an AR-15 to shoot at my head. But by the way, I want you to only nick my right ear. Yeah, right. Yeah. But you know, Democrats will believe anything. They believe anything at all. So that's why they're as Vladimir Lenin said. And I don't mean to be so blunt, but Lenin's the one who said it. They're useful idiots. They're useful to the left cause, and they're idiotic because they believe anything the left media tells them. And that's exactly what that is. It's a useful, idiotic idea.
And so are you saying that the voters that vote, the people who vote for the Democratic Party, are useful idiots, or the representatives?
Well, Vladimir Lenin said that regarding the voters, the people that are out here. That makes
sense.
Yeah, the people. He says they're just useful idiots, and he says that's how they are because they want. You see these signs in yards like Harris and Walls. You know, I thought, do you understand the basics of our country and the Constitution? Do you understand? You know, Barack Obama also relied upon the useful idiots too, because, you know, he lied to the American people to get into office, and then he changed his mind supposedly on marriage between a man and a woman. Said, no, I think that it's between a man and a man. No, he knew all the time. He was part of homosexual clubs in Chicago. He had already believed in that. David Axelrod came on and said later in his book, no, they lied to the American people to get in office, and then after they get in office, then you go back to your normal belief. And that's exactly what Kamala Harris is doing. She's lying. Well, I believe in fracking. You know, I don't believe in taking guns away from people. No, she believes in all of that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Kamala Harris. What is your impression of her? What's wrong with her? She seemed to be empty, and she doesn't know how to find a way out of a paper bag.
Yeah, she's just an empty blouse. Yeah, actually, she is only a puppet.
Yeah.
We know that the deep state recently, just about 700 people from the government deep state, that is, these people that are ensconced in positions of influence in our government, the bureaucracy, the bureaucrats, so democratic leaning, 700 of them have endorsed her. They're the ones who are controlling the government, and she is simply the figurehead. She is an empty blouse, and that's all that she is. And she really doesn't. She got to her position. She got there by sleeping with Willie Brown. That's the deal. And he gave favors to the people that were his mistresses and so forth. And that's what he did in California. She advanced because of that kind of thing. Now, people may say, well, Donald Trump is not morally clean either. That's true. But you know what? It's different with women on this particular case. And people may fall out and jump all over the show saying this, but it's different. It's different for women in the sense that she has advanced in her position due to the men that she has had relationships with in the past. When a man has relationships that are immoral, they usually hurt him. They don't advance him at all.
Right.
But in her case, it has advanced her all the way up. Willie Brown gave her positions because, hey, she is his mistress. So he put her in position, DA of San Francisco, then AG of California. And now look at this. It's just, and here's another thing. The Democrats have disenfranchised all of the voters. There's not a single voter in the Democratic primary that voted for her. Not one. They don't care. It's all about power, as you said. It's all about the Barack Obamas and the George Soroses or whoever gathered together and said, we got to get Joe Biden out and we're putting Kamala Harris in. That's the ones who control this country.
Where did you get that information? Because I've heard that before too about this Jimmy Brown, whatever his name. What's his name?
Willie Brown?
Willie Brown.
Am I saying his name wrong?
No. But where did the story come from about Willie Brown helping her to get going the way she did? Where's that from?
Well, there's a lot of places you can look at. There are several stories. You can look at the New American website. They'll have articles on it.
Okay.
Conservative websites, they'll have stories on this, and that's well known that she was his mistress, and she had pictures with him and so forth, and But at any rate, that's just the case with her.
I remember this song, "Girls, you can't do what the guys do and still be a lady."
Yeah, and of course, I'm not endorsing anyone to be immoral.
Yeah,
and I don't believe that's right, obviously. But that's exactly how her case is. Yeah.
So I know you don't know the outcome of what's going to happen in November, but the way things are looking, will Donald Trump win, or will the Democrats somehow or another get Kamala Harris in there?
Well, I am fearful about it. For one thing, I know that the way Donald Trump talks and others, that we need to flood the voting booth in early voting.
Yeah.
In order to curtail or forestall the cheating that the Democrats do, and that's exactly what they did in the last election. We know that I say cheating, but when I know that people don't like that, but they changed the laws in certain states, such as the state of Pennsylvania, where they changed the laws about who can early vote and how the voting could be done. Those laws were changed unilaterally by judges, in spite of the fact that the voters are the ones to change the laws. So, but that's Donald Trump's statement. He says, what? So he's concerned about it. So I read a statement just the other day, and that is that this is a world-class economist, and he made the comment. He said, look, there's no way the left is going to allow Donald Trump to be president again. There's no way that the world globalists are going to allow Donald Trump to be president again, because they have a globalist cabal that is working across the globe, inclusive of the Democratic Party, that refuse the America First agenda.
That's amazing.
And that's it. That's his comment now. So that's any rate. So I don't know. We can take it from there and draw the conclusions as you may.
That's amazing. Well, I definitely don't know. I just have a wait-and-see attitude, too, because anything can happen. Now, I noticed that the Democrats, for a long time have been able to do and say whatever they want, act any kind of way they want, and get away with it because the Republican Party representatives have not been able to stop the Democrats at all. But if the Republicans were to say something that about the Democrats or whatever that's not true or true,
Right.
the Democrat would want to punish the Republican, and the Republican would jump on board with the Democrats to punish their own. I never understood that.
Well, that's because the cleavage in America is not between Democrats and Republicans. The cleavage, and I talk about Democrats in a negative way here, but the cleavage is not really those two parties. The cleavage is between globalists, that is, the socialists, and which is inclusive of all the Democrats, as well as many Republicans who are neocons. And those neocons are on the Democratic side. So you have the Mitt Romneys, the late John McCain, and people like that who are neocons. That is, they are socialists, and they are actually the socialists of the Republican Party. There may be more soft socialists, but they are socialists, and so they line up with the Democrats almost on every type of issue. They simply don't want it to go down the track as fast as the Democrats do. So there are many neocons in the Republican Party. They're weak-kneed. They say, we want to work with the Democrats and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? The Democrats are really basically the Marxists of America. We want to compromise with the Democrats. Well, look, we've compromised for over 100 years, and we're almost really now at the capstone of socialism in America. That's what's going on here. The left has controlled everything. They control academia.
Yeah.
They control the mainstream media. They control large corporations. They control the government, the deep state. What is left?
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so we're never gonna. I mean, it's just gonna become a socialist America now. And really, those who are not for it just going to have to live in it and accept it, huh?
You know, the late Walter Williams, the great columnist. You've read Walter Williams. You probably had him on the show some.
And he was on my board. Even though he still lived. He was a board member of my nonprofit.
Well, I think he was probably the clearest thinker and greatest columnist, I think, in the last several decades. And he said, you know, socialism is simply the monies that we pay out of our pocket to the federal government. So he said, we work from January until the end of May. Now, when he wrote that article, it was 10, 15 years ago. But now we work to January into June, one half the year, for the man in Washington, D.C. That is nothing but socialism, at least half the socialism. The government allows you to keep half of your money, but they have also floated ideas of extending the tax rates or expanding the tax rates even up to 75%. Kamala Harris wants to expand the tax rate for corporations up to 28%. She wants to take it. They'd love to take it higher and higher and higher, driving companies out of corporations out of this country. Yeah. So that is the definition of socialism, and that is that I can't keep my money. I can stay in my house, but if I don't pay my taxes, they come get it. I can keep my car, but if I don't pay my taxes, they come get it. Who owns it? I'm renting from the government.
Yeah.
I'm renting my car from the government, and that's basically a socialistic idea. And we don't realize it, but we're basically almost really completely socialistic.
So we're already in prison and don't know it.
In a lot of ways, that's true. And that's why it's beginning now to simply work out in the populace, which is why we're seeing so much chaos in the streets and chaos everywhere. That's right.
Amazing. Bill, can I hold you over for one more segment at least?
Sure, that'd be great. Yeah, you bet.
888-7753. 773-888-77 Jesse. Bill Lockwood is here, and when I come back, folks, we're going to tell you how to get all of his information and support Bill Lockwood. Quick break. Back in a moment.
Hey, listen, before I ask my question, I want to thank you so much. The silent prayer, you know, I'm 50 years old. At home, we have a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I got to tell you, introducing the silent prayer to my family, instead of just sitting down and saying the same old prayer over and over again before we eat our meal, to just be silent, bringing all thoughts into captivity. Brother, that has been such a huge, huge blessing in our lives. I just want to encourage anyone to try that out. It's amazing to look around after we've done our silent prayer before we eat, to see the excitement in my kids' faces, like, oh yeah, Dad, I had a bunch today. Or the other one will be like, yeah, you know, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about. It really takes root, Jesse, and so I want to thank you so much. And ever since then, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. You're going to know God and His love. It's going to be amazing, man. Okay, folks, welcome back. We're going to get to your super chats and all that here in a moment. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. TheHakeReport.com. And at 11 a.m., Joel Friday TV, he black. At 11, and at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. So a busy day today. I want to go back to Bill Lockwood because I need to talk to him as long as I can. And then we're going to get to your calls and all that. Bill, before we get back into the communications here, tell folks how to get your website, how to help you, and all kind of stuff.
Oh, thank you for that, Jesse. Well, I have a website that is patriotsforliberty.com. And there's a donate button on there, and you can help out on that one. And then the show is a Patriotic Pulpit, and that's on Amazon Music app as well as Spotify app, and it's on YouTube. So Patriotic Pulpit. And then I have, of course, also Bible studies with Bill Lockwood. Those are the things I do in the pulpit every Sunday and Bible class and so forth. So, and then right now, I'm, matter of fact, preaching on will America succumb to Marxism? And that's what I'm preaching on, because Marxism is basically an alternative religious orientation. So we need to recognize that. But a lot of people and a lot of preachers are afraid to talk about that, apparently. But that's exactly what we're facing.
Amazing. It's so amazing to see this happening in America. And it's like, it's like there's nothing you can do about it. And that's what's so weird about it. It's just happening, and there's nothing or no one who can stop it.
Well, you know what? I heard Donald Trump say this the other day, but I know it's true because I've done some research myself on this, about the people that are Christians in America are non-participating in the election process.
Yeah, I heard him say that too.
Yeah, George Barna came out the other day. He's at Arizona Christian University north of Glendale, Arizona, and he said that 60 to 75% of people who claim to be Christians do not participate in the election process. And I think their thinking is this, that, well, God is in control, but that's not the issue.
Right.
The issue is not whether God is in control. The issue is, am I to engage in this process, and can my engagement change the course of things? Can it change the course of America? The answer is resoundingly yes, and yes. I should engage. Jonah came to the people of Nineveh, said 40 days Nineveh will be destroyed. That was God's promise. But they repented, and God relented. It changed the course of Nineveh because they repented and they got involved in their repentance. The same thing is true regarding Americans. I hear Americans say real blithely, well, God's in control. Well, you know what? It makes a difference whether I live in freedom or slavery, whether I have freedom to own a firearm and protect my own family, or whether I'm going to be subject to gang activity going on here in Wichita Falls or whatever. It makes a difference whether I pay most of my paycheck to the man in Washington, D.C., or whether I can keep my own earnings that God has given me, whether I have freedom of speech or not. It makes a difference whether I can preach in the pulpit or whether I'm going to have to meet in silence. It makes a difference, and that difference is going to be found in the ballot box or in the election booth.
Yeah. I want to ask, I was flipping through the channel the other day of the TV, and I saw this little guy.
Okay. Yeah. What did the little guy say?
I saw this little guy, Mike Pence, I think. Mike Pence.
Oh, yeah.
And he was not outright supporting Kamala Harris, but he was outright against Donald Trump.
Right.
And I couldn't, and I'm like, I didn't know what to think about that. And you say, what's wrong with him?
Yeah. Well, I say what's wrong with him. Well, you know what? When Donald Trump selected him, I was a little bit fearful of him anyway, because I think he's way too soft. And at this particular point, we have to have someone who's a president who's going to be strong enough, as Donald Trump said in the last debate with Kamala Harris. He said, that's because I fired a lot of people. She said, well, a lot of those military leaders and other people, they're against you. He said, that's because I fire people if they don't do their job. And so I think that Mike Pence, in my opinion, is way too soft. And it was that hard line that Donald Trump takes. I thought that was too tough. Mike Pence is big against abortion. Well, in this election, if that's the big litmus test issue, why is Mike Pence not on board 100% with Donald Trump? Because Kamala Harris, let me tell you, is for homosexual marriage and for abortion on demand. What does Mike Pence like about that? I don't know.
What a mess.
It is a mess, and I don't think I don't understand why in the world they cannot see straight on that one.
Amazing. So, a question for you: if you live and think foolishly, is God in control of the affairs of your life? That's a question for you.
Yes, it is. God is in control of everything in the world, and that's true. At the same time, we have free will, and we make decisions, and those decisions lead to good outcomes or bad outcomes. So God can use poor or bad outcomes and negative outcomes. He can use those for his greater purposes. That does not mean I'm going to be saved. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be the righteous man. I can lose my soul, but nevertheless, it works out for God's purposes. So God uses those events. But the issue is not, of course, once again, whether God is in control and could utilize those events, which is the case. But the issue is, should I be engaged in the fight for right? Should I be engaged to stand up for truth against error and against the lies of the communists and the Marxists and the leftists and the socialists and the Democrats? Should I be engaged in that?
Yeah.
And the answer is absolutely. If I don't engage, God's going to use all of the events anyway, but the more we engage, the better the outcome will be.
I want to ask about Israel and the war with that's going on, Hezbollah, right? It seems to be escalating, getting worse. And some people are predicting that there may end up being a World War III or something like that. What do you think about this war with Israel and that country?
Well, you know what, I think from the very beginning, what Trump said was right. And I'm not saying this just because Trump said it. You know what? We have funneled money to Iran, which is the biggest state sponsor of terror, Hezbollah and Hamas and those countries. And we have funneled money to those countries continually by not being energy independent.
Yeah.
We were energy independent when Trump was president, but the globalists don't want us to be energy independent. They want us to be dependent upon foreign oil from Iran. So we wash them in cash. Obama thought we couldn't get enough of it over there, so Obama sent plane loads of cash. We buy so much oil from them. We have bathed them in cash, and so now they can state sponsor terror all over the world, and that's exactly what they've done. If it would dry up the spigots if we had energy independence in America, which we can do and must do. And that's what the America First agenda is about. But if we can't do that, if we go with a globalist such as Kamala Harris and the United Nations, then we're going to continue to send our funds overseas, and they're going to continue to fight all the time.
I was thinking about the United Nations, and I wanted to ask, and then I want to at least squeeze in one call for you, if not more. But has the United Nations ever done anything good? Have they ever ended any wars? Or I don't even know what they don't seem to be. They don't seem to be good for anything.
Yeah, that's because the design was not to be good. The design was to put us into a global government. The design was to siphon money out of the American taxpayer's pocket, send it to such places as the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, and send it overseas and to fund those nations. That's the goal of the United Nations, is to bring us into a global government. And they said that from the beginning. But they kind of colored it. They kind of hid that in the back rooms. And so that's why those people who were communists, such as Alger Hiss, were involved in, and the Harry Dexter Whites of the FDR administration were involved in the ground floor of the United Nations in order to bring us into a global government. A global governance is how they called it, and to take the money out of the American pockets and send it overseas. And that's why we have never seen anything good from the UN. That's why they're telling us what to do right now.
And so do the American representatives know that? And if they do, are they in support of that too? Just sending our money and not really.
They vote for every year. Yep. Now Donald Trump tried to roll it back with the Paris Climate Accord. He said we're not sending money over there for that because that is a punishment to America, sending money overseas. Joe Biden, the first thing he did when he was in office, he said we're going to get back in the Paris Climate Accord and we're going to send money back over there. It's reparations for our climate sins, and we're going to send them overseas to the third world countries. What is that? That's socialism on a global scale. That's what the United Nations was designed to do.
Amazing. I was thinking the other day, and I said it on my show, I believe, that when I look at the representatives in our country today, all these women and weak men and shallow people, they don't seem to know anything. They have no common sense. They're just, I remember at least in the good old days when I was growing up, men that ran the country, though they had some issues, they were for strong police forces. Make sure you go to jail if you commit a crime. They protected us around the world. They had like real men that would at least stand for that. But we know everybody's so airhead.
Yeah.
They're so.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know, but because I can't. I'm thinking about these representatives like from everywhere, but they're so airhead. They just don't have any common sense about anything.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Jesse? I apologize, but I probably ought to split. I probably ought to go here.
Yeah.
I've got a class waiting for me in a few minutes, so I've got to get on into town.
I know, Bill, and I don't want to get you fired.
I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Enjoy being with you here.
Tell the folks how to get you again. I mean, how to reach you.
Yeah, it's Patriotic Pulpit. And that is on Amazon Music app as well as the Spotify app. And then American Liberty with Bill Lockwood, that's the donate button. And then, of course, Bible Studies with Bill Lockwood.
Right on. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that extra time you did give.
You bet.
And if you need me to write the principal a note for you, I will.
Okay. I'll do that. All right, Jesse. Lord bless you.
What do you think about my glasses?
Oh, I love it. That's great. That's LL Cool J. That's cool.
Thank you, Bill.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, buddy. 888-7753-773. Check out Bill Lockwood, folks. Bill Lockwood, American Liberty with BillLockwood.com. And support him. All right? We need Bill Lockwood. If ever we need a Bill Lockwood, we need him now. Maurice is a first-time caller out of New York. Maurice, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
You good?
Hello?
Hello?
Maurice? Maurice?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. Okay. It's a pleasure to follow that clown you just had on your show.
That clown?
Yes, sir.
No, that was Bill Lockwood.
I said he's a clown.
And why?
He's a bigger clown than you.
And why you call him a clown?
Because he's spewing a lot of nonsense like you.
Like what?
Right?
Like what did
I'm
he
an independent voter out of New York. And I want to know why you think that I should vote for your great white hope, a man who is morally corrupt, has bankrupted so many businesses, yet you guys claim that he is this astute businessman.
Are you voting for Kamala Harris?
I have not yet decided who I will vote for.
And have you decided who you will not vote for?
Absolutely.
And so,
Donald Trump.
But not Kamala Harris. Why haven't you decided not to vote for her?
There are several boxes that need to be ticked off. You see, you guys talk all the time about abortion. Yes, I'm against abortion. Yes, I'm against same-sex marriage. But what about
why haven't you
adultery?
checked off the boxes?
Let me finish, sir.
Why haven't you checked off the boxes for Kamala Harris? What is it about her that would even cause you to consider voting for her at all? What is it about her?
She is at least the lesser of two evils.
What is it about her that would cause you to even consider voting for her?
She is not as morally corrupt as Donald Trump.
What is it about Kamala Harris that would cause you to even consider voting for her?
I'm not so much going to vote for. I haven't said that I will vote for her. I said I will not.
But
vote
you
for
have
Donald
not.
Trump.
You have not given up the idea of possibly voting for her. And
Yes,
why
it is
not?
that.
Why not?
Why haven't I given up?
Yeah. The idea of even considering for a second voting for Kamala Harris. Why haven't you given up the idea for Donald Trump? But why not for Kamala Harris?
Because she is not as dumb, stupid, lying, and morally corrupt as Donald Trump.
Why are you considering voting for Kamala? Why are you still considering voting for her? What is it about her that causes you to consider voting for her? What is it about her?
Sir, you asked me the same question 3 or 4 times.
Because you're not answering the question. I'm asking you. All you're doing is name calling. I'm asking you. I'm asking you, Maurice. What is it about? And do you vote?
Yes, I do.
You're an American citizen?
I certainly am.
You're not an illegal alien?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
What is it about Kamala Harris that would cause you to even consider voting for her? Tell me, without the name calling, tell me what is it about her that would cause you to even for a second consider voting for her?
Because she is more than a viable option other than Donald John Trump.
In what way is she a viable consideration? What is it? In what way?
I do not know how many names are going to be on the ballot sheet.
We're talking about Kamala. In what way is she viable to you that you would consider voting for her?
Because I will be voting against Donald John Trump.
What is it about Kamala Harris that I'm asking you one more time? What is it about her that would make you not against Trump, but what is it about her that would make you consider voting for her?
Because she tells the truth.
What does she tell the truth about?
You asked me a question, I answered.
What did she tell the truth? Like what?
She tells the truth about everything.
Like what? Like what has she done? Is she better off? Is
about
America
her
better
ancestry?
off? Has she ever answered the question of, are you better off today than you were before they got in there?
Yes, she has. Yes, she has.
When did she answer that?
Yesterday, I asked her that in person.
You asked? You had lunch with her?
Pardon me?
You had lunch with her or something?
Sir, you see...
Are you her cousin?
No, I'm not.
Did you have lunch with her? How you ask her that in person? And why does she say out loud, if we're better off today or worse? Why did she say it to you in private and won't say it out loud in public?
How do you know she has not said it in public?
Because I've been paying attention. She has not said it in public.
With all due respect, sir, you know the reason why you are a supporter of
No, come back.
Because
why won't she say,
you are
hey,
lawyer like he is.
I'm asking you a question, Maurice, and can't run from it. Why did she tell you that in private, but she will not say it out loud? Are we better off today?
You will run before I do.
Maurice, answer that question because I need you to make sense. And right now you're not making sense. Leave out the name calling. It's okay you want to name call Trump. But what is it about Kamala Harris, other than the name calling, that do you love Donald Trump?
I love everyone.
Do you love Donald Trump?
I am a Christian, sir.
Do you love Donald Trump?
Yes.
And so why do you attack him personally?
Because he attacks everyone.
And so why must you do what someone else is doing if you're a Christian?
I have not attacked him.
Wrong? Is he wrong for attacking others?
How have I attacked him?
You've been attacking Donald. You came on the show attacking him.
Tell me how I attacked him. When you ask questions, you want people to answer, but you don't answer.
Because you attacked him, we call him all these personal names.
Wait a minute.
Is Donald Trump wrong for doing that?
Of course he is. Yes, he is.
So if he's wrong for doing it, why are you doing it?
Because I have decided, when speaking about him, to stoop to his level your level.
And you decided to stoop to somebody else's level?
Yes, like you do.
And where is the common sense in that?
When you ask him and he can answer that, I will answer it. How about that?
So you can't live your own life? What the? Why not live your own life? Why you got to be like somebody else?
I do live my own life.
No, you don't. You just said you're doing what Donald Trump is doing. How is that living your own life?
Don't listen.
How is that living your own life?
I live my own life.
No, you don't. You're doing what Donald Trump is doing. How is that living you said you stooped to his level. How is that living your own life?
I'm speaking only in terms
No. You're not living your own life.
You ask a question and you won't let me answer.
And you call Bill Lockwood a clown. How is that living your own life?
Because when I hear him speak, I think of a clown.
And so are you a clown for doing what he does?
I didn't say I do what he does.
You did. You said you stooped to his level. Are you a clown?
No, I'm speaking with one now.
Are you a clown?
No.
Bye, Maurice. Okay, break. Back in a moment.
Today's show is brought to you by Sevenwood Financial Services. For 20 years, Sevenwood has been a trusted partner to Americans who take action to guarantee their retirement income. Their team of licensed, independent producers will help you understand your best options for protecting your hard-earned savings. So stop living with your retirement worries. Call Sevenwood and let them help. Schedule your free consultation now. Call 860-470-6250.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, Wednesday, September 25th, AD 2024. There is one line open. You can call in right now during Hake News, Not Fake News. And the Jesse Lee Peterson Show will continue in the second hour. Back to your calls. Many, many great super chats. We will read them. And some cool stories, or important stories, perhaps. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN reports inflation across the economy is supposedly cooling, but Americans, many of them, grappling with sticker shock over rising egg prices. Eggs are too darn high in the United States. On the sunny side up, that's their thing. I read it on my bad. Eggs aren't nearly as expensive as they were in late 2022 and early 2023 when a spike in bird flu cases severely impacted production. Remember that? And Tel Aviv, Israel's military intercepted a ballistic missile today near its economic center, Tel Aviv, one of the biggest, or maybe the second biggest city in Israel. Fired by Hezbollah from Lebanon or something. It's believed to be the first ballistic missile launched by the militant group towards Israel. Some people call them, do they call them terrorists too? Or is that just Hamas? Marking a new escalation in the conflict between the two sides. Hezbollah said that they were targeting the headquarters of Israel's intelligence service, Mossad. Based Mossad. Is Mossad better than the FBI or the CIA? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe. In support of our steadfast Palestinian people in Gaza. And in defense of Lebanon and its people, so says Hezbollah. There were no immediate reports of damage or injuries after the interception. Since the outbreak of the war between Israel and the Palestinian militant group, Hamas, which some call terrorists, last October, nearly a year ago, Lord have mercy, Hezbollah has fired hundreds of rockets and drones from Lebanon targeting northern Israel. What a mess, huh? Bring Trump back. Storm Helene, Helene, a nice woman's name for a storm. Florida residents bracing for a Helene. Hold on tight, Floridians. I call them Floridans, but they're Floridians. A rapidly strengthening tropical storm Helene could become a major hurricane today. Helene is on track to make landfall on Florida's Gulf Coast, possibly in the Big Bend region. Did you know that that's in Florida? Late Thursday, and that's today, right? Oh no, that's tomorrow. And threatens to become the strongest storm to hit the United States in over a year. It would be the fourth hurricane to make landfall in the United States this year, and as I said yesterday, the fifth to slam Florida since 2022. Chin up, Florida, or tuck your chin, Florida. A flood watch has been issued for more than 20 million people throughout Florida, or from Florida, through the southern Appalachians, or Appalachians. The Big Bend area faces the most serious storm surge. Up to 15 feet is possible. Wow. So cool. Awesome. But watch out. Very terrible as well. Secret Service, the Senate unanimously passed a bill Tuesday guaranteeing that our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, and cackling so-called Vice President Kamala Harris receive the same level of Secret Service protection as a sitting president. Nice. Republican Senator Rick Scott of Florida brought the legislation to the floor after the House passed it unanimously, 45-0. Wow. Bipartisan usually means evil, but in this case, I guess I'll take it, right? For the protection of our greatest president, hopefully. It now goes to Crooked Joe Biden's desk for his signature. Watch, he vetoes it. Imagine? Nah, he wouldn't. The Secret Service is now under scrutiny in Congress after two apparent assassination attempts on Trump. But I don't know if you can blame them necessarily. Only. Scapegoats? I'm James Hake. Now back to the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, Hour 2.
got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. And my biblical question, a doozy. For those who want it, I understand clearly and without a doubt, and I'm okay with it 100%. Most people love their misery. They love their hell. They love their blaming. They love their lostness. They love their loneliness and suicidal thoughts and fear and doubt and anxiety and desperation and revenge and gossiping. So it's not for you. It's for those who want to overcome being lost. And all people lost until they return to the Father. So it's for those people, men and women, who want to return to the Father. The biblical questions are, this is a doozy. Why is your life one collision after another one? Why is your life one collision after another? Amazing, huh? And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com. Excuse me. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or bond JLP Cash App. We're going to get to your super chats here in a minute. If you missed Bill Lockwood in the first hour, you got to check it out. I kept him over a little bit. I knew I could only have him for 30 minutes and maybe a little bit after. But it's so interesting. I can go on and on and on. So I try to get in as many conversation pieces with him as possible. And I know y'all love Bill Lockwood. You love him. So you love what he's on. Check him out, American Liberty with Bill Lockwood.com. All right. I want to go to the busy phones. I want to go and talk to, out of Nevada, Armante, a first-time caller out of Nevada. Armante, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going, man?
All is well.
So, I'm not particularly interested in challenging you per se.
Uh-huh.
I just wonder if I can get you to reconsider some of your stances about the black community and maybe apply a little bit more empathy. Yeah, and I hope I don't sound like a passive person when I say that, because I am stern on a lot of things, but that's just how damning the circumstances in the black community is that we require a lot of empathy. And I see quite a lot of black people talk to you that may consider themselves intellectuals, but I don't think any of them has been keen enough to truly communicate to you the real root of this agitation and entitlement that I've heard you mention.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, just for one minor example, there's many examples, but I like to think of a ant colony, and how ants kind of work in a cohesive fashion until they're shooken up or until they're rattled. And then one thing that you notice is that once the ant colony is rattled, that's when all of these certain type of hostile behaviors and confusion comes about. And my suggestion is that black people, we are inherently harmonious. We are inherently civil, but the circumstances, the generational circumstances of this country has led us to a point of irredeemable frustration, irredeemable just behaviors, because we've been knocked into pretty much a senseless state of being by societal scrutiny. And I'm totally prepared for the argument of, other societies and other peoples have been marginalized in other societies and they have redeemed themselves. But I have quite a few reasons why I think that might be why that might not be happening with as much speed as people would like in Black America.
So, how old are you?
I'm 27.
Oh, okay. I don't understand what you're saying at all. Give me one situation that has happened to the blacks that they are blaming and begging and have no sense of self. And not all, but they have no sense of self-control, and they don't think by themselves and for themselves. What has happened? Give me one incident that happened to them that caused them to be that way today.
I can name several. So
let's do it one at a time.
Okay, one at a time. I'll take the political hero Fred Hampton of the Black Panther Party, and I'm referencing something in the '60s, but it absolutely applies to today, because the significance of people like Fred Hampton and the significance of what they were doing was they were trying to rehabilitate us from our current circumstances, and he was actively doing it, and it was working. He was organizing, and he was bringing rehabilitation to his community. Now, and this is unbiased history. I'm not trying to suggest upon anything just for the sake of winning the argument. It is court documented that the federal government was charged with murdering Fred Hampton. And
but you're telling me something that's happened to one man. What's wrong? No. What I'm asking you is, what has happened to the blacks that they need somebody, number one, to represent them? You mentioned Fred Hampton, so we'll say he had the little Black Panther Party, whatever they had. What's wrong? What happened to the blacks that they're not able to stand as individuals?
And so this is my point of mentioning Fred Hampton, because I think that you find that in any society, there's usually one or two, or maybe a political governance like the Black Panther that acts and speaks as a voice for the people, and a lot of the times societies are lifted up because of these people.
That's not true, because black people prior to the civil rights movement did not have voices speaking up for them, and they were more independent. They did not hate or blame the white man. They did not have leaders, no black leaders, no white leaders. They had families. Abortion was almost unheard of. And they owned land. They moved about the country. They had a life. And so it's not true that they need a Fred Hampton or anybody else to stand up for them. And there's no one that ever stood up for the black that made them better. They have only gotten worse.
No, okay, well, just take your time and just try to consider what I'm telling you. Because I understand what you're saying, because Malcolm X also had
what am I saying?
That black people should
what am I saying?
They should be their own leaders. Absolutely. I do agree with that.
Why are you pushing for anything other than that?
Oh, no. And I'm not. If you would allow me to conclude what I'm saying, because it's not like
you're using some Black Panther guy as an example, and most black people.
you just don't want to. You don't want to hear.
Most black people, I remember them, and most black people were afraid of the Black Panther.
I'm not sure if that's totally true. Because
no, totally true. I was there.
Otherwise,
I was there. It's totally true.
The work that they're doing suggests otherwise. But I understand if you want to be biased about this type of stuff, because it.
But they weren't doing anything. They were giving black people free food, and they would go and pretend that they were taking care of them by giving them something, and that was not helping them at all.
It was about protecting. It was about protecting them from policing.
No.
And yes, I have heard that. That maybe some black people like you maybe were afraid of them because you couldn't intellectually grasp what they were doing, because you're
we understood what they were doing. That's why my parents.
You're so fixated
on
aligning
my parents had us
with the right side of society that you won't open your mind up. And
that's why our parents had us to stay away from them. They were a dangerous group.
Yeah, your parents. But there was
But
a lot.
not
I'm
just
sure there was a
my
lot of people
parents,
who.
all the parents around me.
Oh, that is an absolute lie. And
We
why do they
couldn't
have the
even
legacy
go
that they have?
over to
Why do they have the legacy that they have if that's true?
We
Why do
couldn't
they have
even-
why do they have a reputation of being saviors if that's absolutely true across the board?
Of being what
You
now?
are biased. You are biased.
You said they
Why
had the
do they have the
reputation of being.
reputation? Why do they have the reputation of being
Hey,
the
hey,
glorious
hey,
Black
hey,
Panther
hey,
Party? You're biased.
Amante, calm down.
Oh no, you're just biased.
Amante,
sir.
calm down for a minute.
You don't meet intellect with intellect. You
Amante,
meet
calm
intellect
down
with
for a
bias.
minute.
Oh, I'm absolutely calm.
I want to ask you a question.
I want you to be reasonable
I
because
want-
you have a platform and you promote a lot
Amante,
of divisiveness
hey.
unreasonably.
Amante,
I'm
how did they help the blacks
make sense.
at all?
Huh?
If you can you can hear.
Oh, I can hear you.
How did they help the blacks at all?
Oh, well, see, they didn't get a chance to because the government incentivized on killing them, which they did, and they were accused in federal court of doing so, and they lost that trial and had to pay their family money. So before,
So what's wrong with the blacks?
Did you not hear what I said? The
Yeah,
federal government
I heard all that
assassinated
crap
our
before.
No, that's absolutely true. Look at the document. Are you not aware of it, or are you just choosing to be ignorant?
No, it's not important.
It's not important, yeah, because you're a closeted bigot. Because
No,
why would that not?
it's
Be,
not
why would that not be? Why would it not be important for somebody who is collectively trying to rehabilitate our nation and give us what we need to be stable citizens on our own? Because we had been turned into beastly burdens by the society. They get assassinated by the same government that's sworn to protect us, that's sworn to provide us that what we need for proper civility. They get assassinated for simply trying to help us.
Do you hear yourself?
Yes, I hear myself.
You know what you're saying? You're saying they did that for us. They helped us. We needed this and we needed that.
Needed help. Yes,
as though the blacks and the blacks are still the blacks. Hold on. I let you go on and on. Hold on.
Okay, listening.
Hold on. You sounding as though that blacks are so mentally ill. They have Asperger and they're not able to take care of themselves.
Yeah, because of chattel slavery. We haven't been given a chance to properly rehabilitate ourselves.
And so you need white people to give you that chance?
No, they did not.
I said, do you need white people? Do you need white people? Do you need white people?
No, I don't need white people. The least that white people can do is leave the people who are trying to provide us salvation.
Who do you need, Armante? Who do you need to give you a chance to have a life?
Oh, well, I found my own. I rehabilitated my own mindset by myself.
And why the rest of the blacks can't do that?
That's not to suggest that they can't, but I'm saying
if they could,
it's holding up progress if you have somebody who's speaking for the people, like your president is speaking for American people. You have a person who is speaking for a certain group of people who's able to communicate these issues with accuracy, and the government goes and kills them for practically no reason. Now, can you answer me why would a federal government that's sworn to protect its people conspire against its own citizens like that for dubious reasons?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you don't because you're ignorant.
Armante, let me ask. when will enough be enough for you people?
Oh, when will enough be enough? When will enough be enough is when the government finally decides to stop conspiring. And then we will actually give it a chance to properly rehabilitate.
You say conspiring? To do what?
Conspiring to put us in the prison system, conspiring to keep us ignorant to our history and our legacy as Black people, and you know the things that actually we have so much wondrous history and so many innovations that we have done prior to this society that they don't even include in the textbooks. Now, how is that supposed to be good for my self-esteem?
We gave you people Obama, the fallen Messiah.
Do you hear yourself? This conversation is almost pointless because you're ignorant.
Hey,
did you not just hear what I said? Did you not hear what I said?
Armante. We gave you people Barack Obama.
Oh, do you hear yourself?
Hold on, man. We gave you people the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama. We gave you Big Mama Michelle.
No, not my father Messiah. Not my father
We
Messiah.
gave you...
Excuse you, actually.
We gave you Big Mama Michelle. When would enough be enough?
Dude, listen, this is a thing about debating you. You look over clear holes in your logic you don't try to attend to them. You neglect the holes in your logic. And this is what makes you ignorant. This is what keeps you ignorant.
No, that's not what made me ignorant. What the?
No, you're absolutely
ignorant. You know what
ignorant,
made
sir.
me right? You're right. I am. And you know what made me ignorant?
What's that?
Being black. I'm black and slow.
That's a damn shame. That is a damn shame.
Why?
That you look at yourself now, and you know this is going to be broadcasted for the whole world for everybody to see a 27-year-old intellectually cornering to the point where you said that you're dumb because of your own inherent race.
No, I said because I'm black and slow.
Do you know how self-deprecating you sound? Do you know how self-deprecating you sound?
Amante.
I'm black and there's nothing about me that's slow. I am all the way
right. You're very smart.
Right up the part.
I can tell you.
Absolutely, I am.
You're so smart.
And you're not.
You're so smart that even Jesus can't deal with you. But let me ask.
Oh, no. No. Me and God got a great relationship.
Hold on. Let me ask. We have given you people the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama. We're giving you Big Mama Michelle. We allowed Kamala Harris to pretend like she's ready to be president. We've given you all type of so-called black females and others in government. We allow you. Let's start with the sentence. We even allow. Hold on. Can we just start with we've given you? We even allow you people to. Hold on, Amante.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm gonna listen all the way through.
And let you
make a fool of yourself.
If you don't listen, I'm gonna let you go because I can't wait. There are so many people waiting. Well, be quiet.
Okay.
We even allow you. We let you out of prisons without bail. You don't have to have bail bond. You said that blacks were in prisons and the Black Panther and whatever people were trying to help them. We didn't make you do the crime. We used to put you in jail, but we didn't make you do the crime. You blame the whites for you doing
provided
the crime.
conditions. You provided the conditions that agitated us to the point where we felt like we had to commit those crimes.
And what was wrong with you?
You didn't make us personally commit the crimes, but the society provided the conditions that made human go to that point.
Amante.
Yes.
We have given you all type of. We gave you Maxine Waters out of L.A.
You see, I still have an issue with this. We've given you. Do you hear the pretentiousness in the we've given you?
What's wrong
do you
with
understand
that? We have done that.
You're already suggesting.
We even giving you DEI.
You're suggesting that's already suggesting that I'm a second-class citizen just by simply saying we've given you. We don't need you to give us anything. How about you stop taking away what we have?
If you don't need us to give you anything, why you continue? So why are you still begging then if you don't need anything?
We're begging because we haven't been given a proper chance to rehabilitate ourselves due to the conspiring of the government, the constant conspiring.
What do you want us to do? Tell me what we can do to help y'all, okay? What can we do to help you people?
Sabotaging our community. Stop letting the CIA incentivize things like the crack era and letting it destroy our communities for the sake of funding a war. Whenever we have a political leader that is speaking accurately for us, tell the government to stop conspiring to murder them in cold blood so we can properly rehabilitate ourselves from our circumstances, and then maybe we won't have to deal with some of the ignorance that we see from black people. But until the government allows us to properly rehabilitate ourselves, you're going to see the same patterns happening. And it's because of people like you.
So you're going to continue to beg and blame.
Oh, no begging coming from me, sir. I just want to change. I don't want to have war waged on me. I don't want to have war waged on me by the people who sworn to protect me.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that?
Murder, blood has been shed.
Hey, hold on.
Blood has been shed.
Hold on.
And you're saying I'm blaming. Blood has been shed.
Thank you, Armante.
Innocent blood.
Okay. Thank you, buddy. Whew. It's in the blood. It's in the blood. It's just sad that he's 28, 29 or something he said, and he got that slavery mentality in 2024. Isn't that like sad? And we've given them, we gave them affirmative action. We've given them, we even gave them DEI, and now the country falling apart because they're not qualified, but we've given them DEI. And they're still not satisfied. That young man at the age of 29 have no business really, there's never a reason to complain. But he has no business saying what he just said. He's living in something that never happened. He's living in the past. He's living based on the brainwashing that he's been told by other blacks and white liberals. And he's begging and blaming. Catch yourself when you're about to blame. John is out of Kentucky. John, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, Jesse?
All is well, John. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, man, I heard that guy, and I agree with everything he was saying, man. You know, he was super articulate about it, and I understood it.
What
But
part?
I think, listen, I think it's sad how you act like you don't know what he's saying, and you play this coon character online.
What is he saying that
It's
you
not
agree
really
with?
funny.
What is he saying that you agree with?
Everything.
Like what?
Everything that you remember him saying.
No, like what, John?
And,
like what, John?
Jesse, I only got like a couple minutes. I've been on the phone for like an hour or so.
John, tell me something he said that you agree with. One thing.
I agree with our people inherently are, wanting to repair themselves, but there's always the government taking these crafty counsels to keep us down in this dumbed down, sinful state.
In what way? Give me an example of how is the government
Jesse,
doing that?
I would be repeating everything he said.
No,
Jesse.
just tell me how is the government doing that?
Okay, they set up the crack era to put fathers in jail, so it has all these households with mothers having to raise kids on their own and get on Section 8 and welfare. Like, that's just, everybody knows that, Jesse.
And so
that
did they put the crack in your mouth?
Listen, Jesse, that ain't the point.
It is the point. Who made you take the crack?
They made the conditions for it to happen.
And so
they took crafty counsel. They're devils, Jesse.
What was wrong with the blacks that they couldn't resist the drugs?
Why do you play a coon character online? Because you're not being real. You're playing a character.
Why? Who made them put the drugs in their mouth?
Jesse, I'm going to pray for you, man, but I got to go back to work, man. I'm going to holler at you.
You going to pray or holler?
I'm going to holler at you.
All right, John. Holla! Amazing. Super.
Over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, Heart Demand says, in answer to the biblical question,
why is your life one collision? Collision. He black. I told that boy I'm black and slow, but he like, what the?
Indeed.
What's wrong with admitting that you're black and slow? But one collision after another one.
God designed it purposely. It is the test of faith. This is the third person saying this stuff. God doesn't want us
I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
God doesn't want us to forget him. Human beings forget their faith in God when they get comfortable.
Amazing. Thank you for putting your 2 cents in. For responding to the biblical question. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you.
Mindful Maverick 00 bought a coffee. You are the great black hope, Jesse.
Amazing. Thank you. There's a great white hope, so we need a great black one, whoever that might be. Thank you, Doc.
Falcon Ing on Twitch. Did you know JLP Talk on Twitch? John 14:16-18. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever, even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him. But ye know him, for he dwelleth with you, and shall be in you. I will not leave you comfortless. I will come to you.
Amazing.
Nice.
Thank you. What was he responding to the biblical question?
No, he's talking about Jesus sending the Holy Spirit.
Nice. Thank you.
Quoting Jesus.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Nikki bought a coffee. People who claim to know God but do not understand themselves are in a deep sleep of ignorance. What a mess.
You can say that again. Amazing. Thank you.
Tony bought a coffee. Around the 3rd or 4th century, the Catholic Church founding fathers came up with the idea of the Trinity. It was an intellectual idea. By men, it took me only 10 seconds to research that. Wake up, people. P.S. I am Catholic. Catholic school circa 1960. I was never taught that Jesus was God, but the Son of God who died for our sins on the cross. God is not a transformer. What the?
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, it wasn't pushed when I was a kid either. They didn't push this stuff.
When I was growing up either. I really never heard that until I moved to L.A. as an adult, 18 years old, but adult. And I started going to those evangelical churches. Is that what you call them?
Maybe.
You know, like, well, and then they started preaching that. And I'm like, what the?
Yeah. Like Fred Price's church did it?
Places like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to those were yesterday's super chats. Shout out to yesterday's top contributors.
I don't know if I ever heard Fred say it per se.
Right. I'm not saying
remember.
him, but that type of church.
But that type of church, yeah.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Not to denigrate that guy.
Right. He did.
Looking down from heaven. Cactus Eater Bear, Games for Rec, Taking Care of Business, Wolf 336, Kid Combo 1, Misty, Potleaf, Army Ann. Thank you guys for the support yesterday in the D Live crew.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
On Cash App, Cornerstone says Democrats letting migrants in like 90 going north.
You can say that again.
True.
It is insane. And the trouble that these people bring up on American citizens is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing that our government would deliberately invite, by opening up the borders, invite criminals to come in and bring hardship upon the American citizen. Fear and killing and robbing and raping and taxes and it's just eating up the dogs and the cats and the poor little ducks in the park. Now when the white people walk past the park, the ducks ain't gonna be there.
Terrible.
Maybe now y'all should put some little rubber ducks in the park. You know what I mean?
Those are sturdier, less edible.
And you can't, right. Thank you all.
You never know. All right. On Buy Me a Coffee.
You're right there. Lord help us, dare say.
Magilla Guerrilla, as in guerrilla warfare, says Democrats are the largest human traffickers in history and over 300,000 kids are missing. Who knows the real number? Evil.
Amazing.
I hadn't heard that.
Me either. I've not heard that before, but thank you.
But they are aiding and abetting in the illegal immigration. Lori bought a coffee. Biblical question answer.
Why is your life one collision after another one? After another.
I just realized my life has not been one collision after another. That's just lies from the devil to keep me in hell. When I reflect on my life in reality, everything was always well because God is with me. I've just been listening to the illusion of lies from Satan wanting me to hate life.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori.
Yeah.
Gregatron with the coffee. Jesse, your callers yesterday got mixed up. They got days mixed up. It's Bible Thumper Thursday, not Bible Thumper Tuesday. That's tomorrow, guys.
I know. Tuesday is and will always be Country and Western Tuesday. But it did seem like Bible Thumper Thursday.
I know. From the Lord.
Thank you.
From the Lord, I got what I wanted from the Lord. I'll go back to Washington. Ooh. Yes, I will. I'm a Southern Baptist. They don't want to believe in tongues, but God said it. I want it. I guess those are lyrics. I'm not sure. Sorry, I don't know the melody.
Nick played a song by a black guy was, doing that Hoover the Holland stuff. And the black guy was like, the Lord said, I'm from Indiana, and the Lord said that singing tongues and thing, I want it. Back in a moment. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. They may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get from race to responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Don't forget to do the whole social media thing. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell. Follow us on X, JLP Talk on X, and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. And Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and cozy.tv/JLP, where Christ is king on Cozy. Christ is king over there on Cozy. Whether you like it or not. So follow us on social media, right? And check out our merch. Amazing merch. Rebuildingtheman.com/store. Rebuildingtheman.com/store. Let me do this. James, can we just finish up a few more of those, and then I'll go to the phones here?
Certainly.
The super chats.
Yesterday on X, Andre in the live X stream, JLP Talk,
Nice.
says, "It's my bad, Hake. My bad.
Oh, not
my
bag. My bag.
Thank you, Andre,
He black.
over there.
He white. He think he black, but he white.
A couple more from Falcon Ing on Twitch. Twitch.tv/JLP Talk. Ecclesiasticus 32:4. That's the Catholic Bible, I believe. Pour out not words where there is a musician. Oh, pour not out words where there is a musician, and show not forth wisdom out of time.
Nice. That's deep. Thank you.
CLC says, if God didn't create evil and human nature is evil, who created human nature? It's a question.
Oh. Human nature is that fallen nature, that nation that rebelled against God. And it's decided to be its own God. It is evil. That's who did it. Amazing.
Thank you, CLC.
Yeah, thank you.
Wayne, I am that I am. Biblical question.
Why is your life one collision after another one?
What
After another.
What the? I don't go from one collision to another. Jesse, you up to your trick questions again? What the?
So, are they responding to the question or not?
It sounds like the second person denying having collisions.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Rodney is now a monthly supporter, a member on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk.
Thank you, Rodney.
Rodney.
Thank you, Rodney. I appreciate it. Amazing.
Jesse, you are the absolute best. I love the straight up honesty. There are too many in America that don't want to earn a fair wage or expect a handout.
Yeah, it's a mess.
But you, my friend, yes, we have the same thought, and I'd buy you a cup of coffee. You are teaching people the right way of life. Tip my hat, Jesse. Tip my hat to Jesse.
Thank you, and thank for your support to help us to help others. There are people out there that want the truth. They just don't know how to return to it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Rodney.
Yeah.
Lori, hey there, Jesse. Have you ever come in contact with your guardian angel? Or do you just know they have been with you? Do angels just give revelations like God?
Who's my guardian angel?
Is that a no? You have never come in contact with your guardian angel?
Who is he?
Not knowingly, anyway?
He's put his angels in charge over me. Jehovah Jireh cares for me. Jehovah Jireh, my provider. His blessings are sufficient for me. My God shall supply all my needs according to his riches and glory. He's put his angels in charge over me. Jehovah Jireh care for me. So, I don't know about... I hear, and I've read in the Bible, to be honest, that there is an angel in charge over us that's with us, watches over, and I believe that intellectually, but I don't know the depths of that at this point. I would love to know. So as for my own, I ain't seen him yet, but thank you. Have you seen your guardian angel?
Not knowingly.
I wonder would he scare me. You're like, punchy. I'm like, what?
Maybe my guardian angel is Mark from Los Angeles.
I was at the gym one day, and a friend of mine, a woman walked up behind him, and she touched him on the back of his shoulder there, and he turned around and bopped her. I think that he thought that was his guardian angel.
Wow.
He reacted, and I was stunned. I was like, "Why are you reacting like that? Are you afraid or something?" But I have not seen a guardian angel yet, though. Thank you, though. Just for time to say, I have not seen one.
Nice. Popcorn Stump Keg with a coffee. Jesse, when you have guests on The Fallen State who are promoting a book, is there a reason that you don't read their book prior to having them on?
Yes.
It seems like your staff highlights one or two things they've said in the book, but you don't ever get into the conversation about their book because they ask you if you read it. You say no. What's the reason you don't read your guest's book?
Two reasons. Number one, I'm black and slow, so I don't feel like reading. And then number two, I have a producer to do that. And again, give me a couple notes from the book and blah, blah, blah.
But not too many.
Right. Just one or two. And we still help promote the book. The whole point is to help promote the book. And I want to talk to them about other things, too, more than just the book.
He says it would make for a more informed conversation and bring insight instead of always asking what's wrong with the blats. Thank you, Popcorn Stump Cake.
Does this person think every host who has a guest on his show read the whole book? I hope not. I can almost guarantee you, but I don't have proof, so I can't go all the way with it. But most hosts do not read books. Once in a while, you have some of those intellectual hosts that may read the book if the book is really, really, really interesting. But most of them don't read the book. The producer gives them notes from the book.
And what's wrong with the blats is insightful.
Yeah.
There are other podcasts for more in-depth. There are some hosts, I bet, who do read. And they go deep into what they're about.
Yeah. Was this person, were you a guest on the show or something? I'm sorry.
Maybe he's petitioning.
You're right.
He wants to be on your show, but he wants you to read his book.
I read, the only way I would read the book, it has to be like really interesting. And where I can just almost read it in one day. Because what will happen, I'll pick it up and I'll have it in my office, and every little chance I get, I'll read it. When I would go home, I'll read it some more, and then I would have it. But it got to be interesting.
Yeah.
And that's rare. But thank you.
Thanks as always.
Yeah.
Popcorn Stump Cake.
Yeah, Popcorn Stump Cake.
Keg. Keg, like a keg of...
Oh, Popcorn Stump Keg.
Popcorns? Thump Keg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Let me take some
Sounds
calls.
good.
Thank you all. And we'll come back and finish up on those.
We'll read the rest later.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Amazing. Let me go quickly to the phone. Eli from Canada. I've been waiting a long time. Eli, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. How are you, Jesse?
All is well. Thanks for calling.
Oh, you're having a good show today.
Thank you.
Good show.
I appreciate it.
Well, I wasn't thinking. I had questions, but the previous guys that called it was really funny, like the victim mindset. So it's something that I have a lot here. But anyways, I just want to say thank you first of all. I want to know, like, what's the biblical question?
Why is your life one collision after another?
Why is your life one? Well, I think it's because of my unconsciousness, you know. Like, I know what to do, but as soon as I fall in my thought and all this stuff, I become unconscious, and the cycle repeats itself. So that's one of the main reasons. That's what I think.
Very interesting.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you for that.
Yes, no problem. By the way, you always suggest to get involved in politics and all these stuff.
Yes.
And I live in Canada, especially where I live. It's more. It's really. I live in Quebec, Canada. It's like another world here, from what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I went to like a black event, to get involved in politics, and I was not like discouraged or anything, but it's like the black here is another branch of the leftist, but for the black people. They're all like all the subjects that they were talking about politically is just the same thing as the left always talk, all white black people, Black History Month, all these stuff. So listen, I did like 20 minutes and I just left. But I feel like I don't know. When I'm here, I just
don't be discouraged though. If you want to run, you should do it as an individual, and then you'll just naturally build support around you. It would be white, black, and white, and all kind of support. But if you go to a black meeting with the idea of you want to do something like, unless you're a liberal, they're not going to support you. Are you conservative?
Yeah, but I didn't know. I didn't know they were liberals. It was like it was an event of like black votes in Canada, especially Montreal where I live, but it's in Canada. So I just went just to see what's the perspective, how they see things when they're in politics.
Yeah.
But I didn't know they were like. I feel like black here are naturally liberals, like naturally. Even though even the people that goes in the church, my parents come from Haiti, and they come from Haiti with all the mindset, like the conservative mindset. They marry before they have children. They but when it comes to voting, it's like there's some clique. There's a clique, like they don't get it,
Yeah.
And when I try to talk to them, all those stuff, I'm not. I don't have the energy to just talk to them. I just say the things I have to say, and I just leave them there. You know what I mean?
Right on. Yes.
So
that's how you should do it. You can't force it. You just live your life and work on you. So are you from Nick? Is he from your house or about where you live?
Where are you from, Eli? Like in Canada?
No, I'm from Montreal.
Oh, no, he said,
I think Nick's from Ontario. I don't know, Vancouver.
Yeah, I grew up in the GTA.
What's the GTA?
That's Toronto and the cities surrounding Toronto, which is in Ontario, which is a different province from Quebec.
You ever heard of that?
Area.
Well, Ontario, yeah. Toronto, yeah. But GTA, no, I never heard of GTA.
It's only for the illegal aliens.
I spent some time in Trois-Rivières. I even been to Gaspé.
Oh yeah, Gaspé. Yeah, that's beautiful out there. I heard it's beautiful. Yeah,
amazing.
But you have a good show today. Like the victim mindset of the guys you had was really interesting. I come from like I said earlier, my parents come from Haiti. So recently you have the all these controversy, the eating cats and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna ask you. You're from Haiti, right?
Yeah, my parents are from there, but the thing people don't understand is that my parents left the country for a reason. When they were in these kind of stuff before the black magic, voodoo, and all those stuff.
Yes.
My parents, they told me like that's the thing they do. Like sometimes they take showers in blood. They do all these satanic stuff when they are when they're doing the ritual and all those stuff. And it's like they're good at deceiving you to make you think that it's cultural, so it's okay. Like that's because you have the independence, 1804. That's when that's where it begins with when they say black people had their independence. You should be proud of it, and voodoo helped them to get their independence, and then they have all the Haitian and all those stuff. But there's some of them that understand that it's not right in the sense, So,
what a mess! But Eli, I gotta run. I appreciate your call, man.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse. Thank you for everything. You helped me a lot. From the beginning, I started listening to you, and right now, it's completely just different. Started a business and all those stuff. Yeah, we helped me with anger and all that stuff. Yeah. You helped me a lot. Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it.
All right. Have a nice day.
All right, buddy. 888-7753-773. Let me go to William out of California. William, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How you doing? I don't usually call you. And good morning. How you doing, James?
What?
Jesse.
What did you say?
I said I'm fine, thank you.
Don't be saying hi to James on my show.
I said hi to you and good morning to everybody.
No, I'm messing with you. I'm playing.
On a serious, how you been doing, Jesse?
All this well.
On a serious note, for this little new school Malcolm X that you had on the phone, the message here right now that I got for him is that if you are so young that you had to read books about the Black Panther Party, you don't know what you're talking about. And he did not crush you because he just did not know what he was talking about.
And also, I think it's just so unfortunate, William, that at that age, he's so young, 29, there is not one reason to be living in the past, to be blaming others. He was like 27, I think he said. 27,
same age as my nephew. I wish he would say something to me about that.
I know.
Let me tell you, Jesse, that stuff started in San Francisco because there was a kid that ran from the police after stealing a car and got shot up at Hunters Point. And eventually they started doing this breakfast program. What this little Malcolm X don't know is most black people did not allow their children to stop at those kitchens on the way to school.
You did.
They did not.
Right.
And Bobby Seale ended up working for the very institutions that he claimed oppressed him.
Amazing.
Teaching kids at Temple University, African American Studies and social justice.
Is that woman Angela Game? Was she like a part of that mess?
Yes, she was.
Angela Davis, yeah.
And just simple. It's just simple as this. If you read that stuff at the age of 27 years old, I know you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You weren't there.
Yeah.
And I'm 63. I was there in San Francisco, and most parents did not allow their children to stop at those kitchens.
Yeah, I tried to tell him that. It was like that over in Chicago too. They wouldn't let their kids participate in that, and even over in Indiana, they would tell us not to go over that for that reason.
I know my father said you better not.
Yeah.
You better not. You and your brother both. You could go straight to school. You have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
And most black people did not follow that.
Amazing.
Where do they come from? Jesse, where do they come from with this?
The liberal communist schools.
Well, we've only been freed from slavery probably not even 160 years yet. Can that little Malcolm X explain to me why we excelled for 100 years in the last not even 60 years turn into that?
It's unfortunate, William, but they're still brainwashing young black kids today. Yeah. And it's just unfortunate. And they're doing it because they want to control them. That's why they keep them.
You're older than I am. And you
no, I'm not.
Yes, you are. And but Jesse, how did they excel before 1960, between 60 and 65? How did black people
They
excel?
had parents. The parents were examples. They taught us to work. They taught us to buy land. They were not blaming anyone, man. And they had no black leaders.
And they had less rights.
Absolutely.
That is crazy.
It's insane.
How are you going to call in? He thought he was impressive, but that's that overeducated word salad. Yeah.
Amazing. William, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right,
and thanks for having Bill Lockwood today.
It was amazing, huh?
Yes, it was. Always.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill. William.
Okay. Take care.
Okay. 888-775-3773. Let me go to a first-time caller, Jay, out of Pennsylvania. Jay, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing?
All is well, Jay.
Yeah, so I just wanted to call and thank you. I appreciate how you communicate. Like, it's plain and simple, and for like a slow learner like myself, it was very helpful. And the brainwashing is very, very strong. It's very very troubling.
Yeah.
To see. So I'm like a real fast talker and a real slow learner, right? So how would one slow it down?
That's a good question, Jay. The way you slow
it
down.
Fast I talk. I can't shut it off.
The way you slow it down is simply be aware of yourself doing it. And every time you catch yourself doing it, stop for a moment. Just be aware of it and then stop. You find yourself speaking fast, be aware that you're doing it and stop it. And eventually it will totally disappear and you will be totally in control of that. It will change. But it's the unawareness of doing it. You get carried away without realizing you are, and then you're way down the road. Just be aware of it.
I'm easily excitable, I guess you could say.
Have you forgiven your mama?
Yeah, that was fun. That was entertaining. I probably said it at the wrong time.
What happened?
You know what I mean? Like I got excited and I said it like a smart AS. You know what I mean? And but I called her later on, and we're getting there. You already know it's a rough road.
Well, you stay with it, man. You stay with it. I don't care if the whole world turned against you. You stay with it, and God is with you. You have an amazing life.
Doubt.
So just be aware of the fast talking and stop in the moment, and then start back off. But just be aware; it'll change by itself.
Right. It's my one friend. She shared a Bible verse with me, and I think it's James 1:19. Quick to hear, slow to speak. And I'm still working on it. Right.
Right on. Well, stay with it. I got to take a break, Jay. Call me again. 1 more hour to go. When I come back, your phone calls and super chat. The hate news, not the fake news. I'll be back. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
They're still pushing out Ukraine propaganda. Oh, Lord. And drug prices. What a mess. This is the end of hour 2 already of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Wednesday, September 25th, AD 2024. Manhood Hour is coming up in the third hour of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show today, right shortly. There is one line open. You can call in right now during Hake News, Not Fake News. And the Jesse Lee Peterson Show will continue in the third hour. After the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, thehakereport.com, and then Joel Friday TV, and then at 4 p.m., American Anchor Baby. Very cool. By the way, there's going to be an archive little premiere. I say a little, but it's going to be like a 2-hour premiere. 2 p.m. today on Jesse Lee Peterson channel. Not a Bond archive Sunday service. This is a JLP archive, sort of Bondish. From an interview on Light of the Southwest, God's Learning channel, Jesse Lee Peterson, 2005. Check it out. Anyway, that's on the JLP Highlights podcast up already, by the way. Ukraine propaganda, your practically daily dose, open wide. Yeah, the U.S. plans to announce billions of dollars for Ukraine in the coming days, committing the funding before it expires after Congress failed to include an extension for the aid in their stopgap measure to keep the evil government open. Evil American government, that is. Congressional leaders were forced to leave the language out of the spending bill because of internal resistance from the House GOP and their deep divisions over funding for the Ukraine. Hake likes to say it the real way, the boomer way. Based boomers. Once the funding measure passes the House, the Senate could take it up later today or Thursday, the same day that Ukraine's unchristian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to visit the U.S. Capitol. Zelensky is scheduled to address the UN General Assembly today in New York City. New York City? That really chaps my hide. Where the world leaders, so-called, have convened to discuss global homo issues and highlight their country's priorities. So I like Volodymyr Zelensky's voice, and so check that out. Drug prices while grilling Novo Nordisk's chief executive over the price of their blockbuster diabetes and weight loss drugs, Ozempic and Wegovy. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders alleged that the 40,000 people a year in the United States could die if the country doesn't make the medicines more affordable. He agrees with Elon Musk about giving these people pills so they don't eat too much all the time. What a mess. What a mess. It's the latest in a series of hearings Bernie Sanders has led with pharmaceutical company CEOs about the price of medicines. Remember, he's the socialist in the United States, the price of medicines, which are higher often by multiple times than other so-called wealthy countries that are full-blown socialist communists. Bernie Sanders noted that the list price for a 4-week supply of Ozempic is $969 in the United States, but the drug can be purchased for $155 in Canada and $59 in Germany. Similarly, Wegovy's list price is $1,349 in the United States, but $186 in Denmark, $140 in Germany, and $92 in the UK. What a mess. Did you hear about this? Brett Favre. Brett Favre revealed he was being grilled in the Senate or something like that, or the House, that he was recently diagnosed with the degenerative brain disorder called Parkinson's disease. You know what Michael J. Fox had or has, and others? It's where he shakes and he can't move, and there was a Parkinson's specialist in the White House reportedly. What a mess. What a mess. And they're pushing 988, the phone number to reach the crisis lifeline in the United States, suicide hotline, right? Provides free emotional support to people in mental health emergencies. If you call it, you get put on a list and they take away your Second Amendment. So is Hake's conspiracy theory. That's not from the news. I made it up. I'm speculating, but just FYI, 988. But actually just call Bond for counseling or do the silent prayer and look to the Lord. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am, excuse me, I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the show. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE, Jesse. Jesse. And my biblical question, why is your life one collision after another? Why is your life one collision after another? Have you ever thought about that? In knowing thyself, have you ever thought of that? Why is your life one collision after another? If you're busy smashing, grabbing, or the white man put some drug in your neighborhood and now you're taking the drugs and then you blame the white man that you took the drugs. Or if you go into prison or to jail for taking the drug, and then you blame the white man, and then the black leadership let you out of jail because they say it's not your fault, because it's the white man's fault that you took the drug. They hypnotize you, and you walk down there to the corner of the street, and you bought some drugs. Or if you're beating up white women walking down the road because you know you ain't got to go to jail now. Or you just a plain old DEI person, you can be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 605-615-4131, 605. Let me do it over. I'm black as though. What the? 605-615-4131. 605-615-4131. And to donate to have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or Bond JLP Cash App. All right. It's Wednesday. It's the last hour of the show on Wednesday. And we're going to get to all of the calls, but every Wednesday, last hour is Manhood Hour. What is a man? What is a man?
It's an adult human male.
Manhood. Hillary or President Trump?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Beta male. A man is a male who turns to man. Alpha male. Live right, be right, and lead the way.
What would be specific steps to strengthening the border?
So it's a wonderful and important question. My background was as a prosecutor.
What is she talking? What's she talking about?
Elected Attorney General for 2 terms of a border state.
In San Diego, we had an exponential increase in significant interest aliens. These are aliens with significant ties to terrorism.
Girl power.
Prior to this administration, the San Diego sector averaged 10 to 15 SIA arrests per year. Once word was out the border was far easier to cross, San Diego went to over 100 SIAs in 2022, well over that in 2023, and even more than that registered this year.
Girl power, I guess.
Amazing. The anchor baby put that opening together. Don't blame me. Blame it on the anchor baby. If you got to blame it on somebody, blame it on the anchor baby. That fire alarm in the back was diabolical. What does diabolical mean?
I think he's saying funny.
Yeah.
He's trying to say hilarious.
It was amazing. Let me do this really fast, and then I'm going to get to your call. Some of you know that there is major tension now over there with Israel and Hezbollah, right? Abba people. And it's getting worse, according to the media. It seems to be getting worse. And so some people are even predicting that if this continues, there could be a World War III. Isn't that amazing? What a mess. KTLA is reporting that Israel is bombing targets across many parts of Lebanon, striking senior military. Striking senior militants in Beirut, and apparently hiding bombs and pagers and walkie-talkies. Don't mess with Israel. Don't mess with Israel. What the? What's this thing called? Hezbollah is firing rockets and drones deep into northern Israel, setting buildings and cars alike. Watch this from KTLA.
In a second day of airstrikes on Hezbollah targets in Lebanon, Israel says its military killed Hezbollah's commander of missiles in a strike on an apartment building in Beirut. Israel's military showed photos of what it claims is evidence enemy ammo is being stored in homes, saying this long-range cruise missile was being stored in a Lebanese family's attic pointed at Israel.
Wow.
Lebanese officials say hundreds have been killed there in Israeli strikes, including dozens of women and children. Mourners seen here carrying bodies of 11 victims, including a 7-year-old girl. Her father called her a martyr and reaffirmed his allegiance to Hezbollah's leader. Israel says it's carrying out targeted strikes and telling civilians in those areas to evacuate.
That's amazing, huh? What is really interesting to me about wars, which are not necessary, maybe there's time to defend yourself, but not necessary, and they always end up killing innocent people. And in places like Allahu Abba areas, they deliberately, according to all the reports, they deliberately put innocent people in the way, in harm's way. They just reported that the bomb was in the house, in the attic. What do you think Israel going to do? What a mess. And the nice thing about the Allahu Abba people, they have beautiful rugs. They have like really attractive rugs. Make you want to go there and buy one. Here's another soundbite from KTLA as to what's happening in this war. Watch this.
In Israel, meantime, sirens blaring as citizens rush into bomb shelters. Overhead, incoming rockets fired by Hezbollah, largely intercepted by the Iron Dome defense system. Israel saying at least 300 projectiles were launched at them from Lebanon today, an escalation of Hezbollah attacks that have been going on since Hamas attacked Israel October 7th.
Since the beginning of the war, Hezbollah has shot over 9,000 rockets, missiles, and UAVs like the one that hit here at Israeli communities. The IDF has been operating in the last week to prevent these attacks.
Hezbollah, unprovoked, during the October 7th attack, launching rockets into Israel.
Barney, like, what the? Hezbollah, he worked at him about the Hezbollah thing. What the? Biden called for diplomacy in Israel.
In Israel, meantime, Hezbollah is an Iran-backed supporter of Hamas operating in Lebanon, designated a terrorist organization by the U.S. President Biden saying almost a year into the fighting, too many on each side of the Israel-Lebanon border remain displaced. In a speech at the United Nations General Assembly in New York, he called for diplomacy.
Full-scale war is not in anyone's interest. Even if the situation has escalated, a diplomatic solution is still possible.
Amazing. It seemed odd that human beings kill each other, huh? Have wars and carry on like this. It's evil. It's pure evil and it's ego. War is not the answer. Only love can conquer hate. Lay your weapon down. And most of the time, I don't know what this, most of the time, wars are about money and power. Really. I hope these people come for the sake of the innocents that live in these areas. I hope they come to some type of peace soon over there. It's a mess. But don't mess with Israel. Israel don't play. They have the dome bombs. They have the iron dome. The dome bomb. They have the iron drone. Iron dome. They don't mess with Israel. Those Jews are smart. They are smart. Don't mess with them. I remember once I went over to Israel. You got to go to Israel. And they have this underground. Maybe I shouldn't tell their secret. They have this whole, a big old area with underground. Everything's underground. And so you walk down underground, the elevator. I think we took the elevator down. I'm not sure. But we went down, and it's just a whole big city, military city. And it was amazing to see it. Amazing. And when the bombs and the airplanes and the jets come out, they come from underground. I like these Jews. Who would have thought of building something like that? So, if I am not supposed to be telling that, listen to the Jews, don't blow up my cell phone. I didn't know it about it. It was more than one. You took more than just me down there to see it. So I don't know if it's a secret or not. And I love the Jews, by the way. All right. I love Israel. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Deborah, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
See, how are you?
All is well, Deborah. You're on the air. Hello?
Can you hear me, Jesse?
Yeah. Are you on a speakerphone or something?
No, I'm on my cell phone. I'm not on a speaker or anything.
Okay, right now you sound fine. Go ahead.
Okay. I said I absolutely love when you have Bill on the show. He comes with so much knowledge and the simplicity with the way he gives the information. It's really easy to understand. So just want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Bill Lockwood is on in the first hours today, folks, so check it out. Bill Lockwood. Go ahead.
You're welcome. The reason I wanted to call in is because I needed to respond to the gentleman who called in with the Black victim blaming syndrome.
Yes.
So the first thing that I usually ask individuals with that mindset is, if slavery and all those things that happened well over years ago is the part of the problem for the Black community, then Black Wall Street would have never happened. And my grandmothers and great-grandmothers and aunts and uncles who lived in the eras following that, prior to the civil rights movement in the 60s, why were they able to have homes, property, land, something that we don't have now? Most Black people are renters. We own nothing. And then the other thing I want to say is, if the government, say I'm the government, and I created all these traps and devices, who's at fault? The government creating it or the individuals for falling for it? Just like you said,
that's right.
If they're putting crack in the community, they didn't put it in your mouth. They didn't put it in your arm. So for me, the biggest issue with the Black community, besides the whole moral compass of things and the lack of fathers in the homes and that aspect, is accountability. We, as a group, are unwilling to accept accountability for the decisions and the actions that we decided to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the last thing that I want to say is, most Black communities, actually all Black communities that I've ever visited in every state that I've been able to travel to, all of them are slums. They're filthy, they're dirty, the streets, the sidewalks, so my question is, if you're so oppressed and you have all these issues that the white man and the government has done to you, what does that have to do with cleanliness? So what's your excuse for that? Why do I have to come into the community and it's full of litter and trash and garbage? And it's all Black people that live there predominantly, but these are the conditions you're living in. Being poor doesn't equate to being unclean. Being poor doesn't equate to not having morality. It's just nonsense, and I'm so sick of it.
You know, to add to that, Deborah, I realize one of the greatest mistakes the Blacks, not all, but most, one of the greatest mistakes the Blacks are making is that they see themselves as a group. That all Blacks are just got to be a part of a group. We're not a group. We are individuals. And as individuals, we are responsible for our own lives and our own self, right? Not someone else. When I was growing up, there is no way, zero way that my parents or any adult really around me would have allowed me to see myself as a group. I was an individual. I was responsible for my salvation. I was responsible for my physical self. And then all of a sudden, the civil rights movement comes along, and now but most Blacks are seeing themselves as a group. You're not a group.
Absolutely.
You're not every Black. You're you. You're yourself, and you're responsible for you. We're not a group.
And Jesse, the other part that is so ridiculous to me, even the first guy who called in and he said, well, not me. I've been able to, grab my bootstraps and pick my own self up.
Yeah.
So my question to that person is, why not spread that information versus the victim blaming information? And then the other thing is, your so-called leaders that are spreading this foolishness, look at how they're living and ask yourself, how do they get to where they are? If we're such, in this horrible state and we're victims and we can't do anything for ourselves, why not show me how you got to where you are?
That's right.
But instead, they're not going to do that because them keeping you in the victim blaming mindset allows them to continue to excel off your backs. And it's just mind blowing to me that you can't see this. I mean, it's insane. And two last things I want to say. On a separate topic, when it comes to voting, I will say that for years ago, I fell into the position of I'm not going to vote because at one point I kind of looked at the blue and the red going to the same destination, but taking different routes to get there. But I've been blessed to now learn how to think for myself with logic and look at things for what it is and not for what I was taught it was to be. And so we had not long ago had a family gathering at my home, and my husband and his side of the family, they were all like, we're going to vote for Mayor Brandon, and he's going to do this and he's going to do that, X, Y, Z. And myself, my best friend and her husband, we were the only ones on the outskirts saying, no, first of all, I don't know many black people that listen to black people. I mean, I'm just going to throw that out there.
Let me ask you this. Did you say at one time you were not going to vote anymore?
Yes, that was years ago. I've got out of that mindset.
So you had stopped voting because, as you said, both parties seem to be going in the wrong direction, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I wonder what's that like not to vote. And then when you were not voted, did you complain about anything?
No, I've never been a person to really complain about anything. I just will point out different things that I felt were right or wrong, but I understood by not voting that I really had no voice to be able to complain. I had no right to complain because I wasn't doing anything to, try to make things better or, anything like that. So,
right
no, I wouldn't complain, but I would still speak on matters just for what I saw for what it was. And that was part of the reason why I had, at one period in my life, stopped voting, because I was seeing, I saw everything unilaterally. I didn't see the separation between the groups. And, but I got out of that mindset. And what I started doing after that is more focused on looking at the individual and if what they're presenting aligns with my way of thinking.
Are you voting for the Great White Hope this time?
Absolutely. Unequivocally, 1,000%, yes.
Amazing. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate it. 88, yes. You got to start thinking for yourself, folks. Let me go to Ashley. Thank you, Deborah. Ashley, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi, Ashley.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, heartache.
So, my question is, I'm really curious.
Curiosity killed the cat. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I got in an argument with my husband this morning, and it was more so of me kind of yelling at him. And now that I'm calm and I'm driving, and I was thinking, like, what I want him to tell me what to do. Like, he doesn't even have to say it nicely, like demand. Like, I wish he would have said, go sit down, go do the silent prayer, and then you can come back and talk to me, or not at all, like, be quiet the whole day. Like, is that wrong for me to want? Like, that's why I got upset. Well, because of the devil, but some of the things that I was saying was like, I want you to tell me what to do, basically. Is that wrong? And like, is that the devil?
Why do you need or want him to tell you to go be still, sit down and do the silent prayer?
Because I should have not gotten so upset.
Right, he should have told you to calm down, but why do you need him to tell you to be still, to go and do the silent prayer? Why do you want that?
Because that would have been good for me, for him.
But you shouldn't need or want anyone to tell you to work on yourself, to get up and do the silent prayer, to forgive. You got to see that for yourself in order to overcome. Right. Now, your husband should correct you when you're wrong, when you're overreacting. He'll tell you to calm down. You're angry, you're overreacting. You're absolutely right about that. But you shouldn't want that. You should only want what's right.
Well, that's what I was saying. But obviously I wasn't right because I was emotional. But I was like, I was literally yelling, I want to do what's right. Like, I'm so frustrated.
Are you doing the silent prayer and stuff?
Every day.
And so why are you frustrated?
Because last night we had a conversation that he's like, I really feel like this past week I've made like huge, like you said, like God is a revealing God. Like I'm like, wow, like there's certain things that like I'm starting to really understand and also realize that I'm not alone. And And I felt like I had like the best week so far in my entire progress of my whole life. But then he said that it's being done wrong from the ego and last night. And then so when I was driving home, I was really contemplating it, and I was like, man, is like everything, like, am I still like, so yeah, I'm just left like, I'm like, no, like, don't get frustrated about that. Like, what if he's like really right and I still don't understand?
You're too into it, Ashley.
Yeah. That's what he said too.
You need to relax. You're going from one extreme to another one. So you need to just relax and just watch the thoughts like you're watching a movie. Don't try to make anything happen. And don't be wanting your husband to do anything or not. Just relax and let life happen.
Yep, that's what he said.
So why don't you listen?
Because I'm really struggling to trust him.
Trust who?
My husband.
Why you trust? Don't struggle to trust them or not trust them. Don't try to trust them and don't try not to. Just live your life. Don't have an idea about anything.
But doesn't that take like conscious effort to be conscious of God, to be watchful of your thoughts? And if I'm just living my life, then I'm not focusing all of that, because I've done that in the past where I'm just living my life, you know? So like there's some kind of disconnect. Like I really want to understand what you and him are saying. How do I just live my life and also be conscious? Like
you live your life by being conscious, by staying instead of having being in your thoughts about the past or the future, or worried about what your husband should or should not do, or what you should or should not do, or what you should or should not be. You just stay present, and it will happen for you. There's nothing else you need to do, and just go about your day, go to work, make your meals, and stuff like that, you know, say hi to your husband. But there's nothing else for you to do but stay present. You can't make anything happen. If you stay present, meaning keep your mind where your body is, then God got you. He'll make your life work. He will cause you to overcome thinking, living in your imagination, and he will cause you to become free. You can't make that happen. I can't make that happen. Your husband can't make that happen. It's a spiritual thing, and of ourselves, we can do nothing. We don't have a free will. We can do nothing. All we need to do is just live. So stay present and relax. Hello?
Yeah, sorry.
It's
really
me.
What you're saying.
Stop wanting for your husband to do this and wanting for that. Stop trying to make God be a part of your life. Stop trying to make yourself conscious. Just practice being where you are. Wherever your body is, bring your thoughts back there.
Okay.
Don't make it a big deal. Are you going to call Hate today so he can call you a crazy woman?
Sure.
Hate going to call you that crazy lady.
Oh, sure. I know. Like I'm listening to you saying like you're only serving Satan, or you're only making decisions from the devil, and you're only making decisions from God, and that we actually are not making decisions. And I thought, yeah, for sure. Crazy lady.
Hold on a minute. 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling The treasure chest is now open on D-Line. The one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right? Is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing. Couple things. If you'd like to get a free copy, we just put out a brand new copy of our newsletter, and we put these newsletters out 3 times a year. Only 3 times a year. If you'd like to have free copy of that, you can go to rebuildingaman.com, rebuildingaman.com, and fill out the information there. Or you can call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. All right? And another thing, the hate report is coming up at the top, at the top of this hour. TheHakeReport.com from 9 to 11. And James Hake is on fire. The guy with the good hair, he's on fire. And then at 9 a.m., Joel Friday TV, he black. Mending relationships. All in the name is in the blood. Joel Friday TV. And at 4 p.m., The American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. Joel Friday is at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Just to be clear. 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then The American Anchor Baby is at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Monday through Friday. All right? And do the social media stuff. Like, follow, ring the bell. Follow us on X, JLP Talk on X, Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram, and rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, Cozy. Cozy.tv/JLP Talk. Well, Christ is king over there. All right? Let me go quickly back to the phones here. Ashley.
Jesse.
Calm down, all right?
Okay.
Don't stop trying to make your husband be what you think he should be.
Yeah.
And you just keep your eyes on you and work on you.
I felt like I did that recently, and then I told him last night in a conversation, I was like, and I feel like I'm finally at a place where it's like, I don't care what you're doing over there with your journey. That's your journey.
Right.
And for the first time, I can think about it, and it's not heart-wrenching.
Nice.
And then his response to me, made me recontemplate everything that I'm been doing, like as if I'm like, okay, like I'm constructing it wrong. So, but you and him keep saying it's so simple, and that you always come back with the same answers. So here I am. I'm probably just, once again, just getting too intense.
Yeah, absolutely. It is simple. It's so simple in that there's nothing you need to do but watch. Watch those thoughts and just live your life. That's all you need to do.
Okay.
Nothing else. And then you go about your day doing your practical stuff and, working and whatever you do. But for as those thoughts and emotions, just watch them, but don't call them you, and you'll be fine. Calm down.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a great one.
Okay, you too. 888-7753-773. Aaron is out of Maryland. Aaron, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how are you?
All is well. You're on the air. Thanks for calling.
No problem. Thank you for picking up.
Yeah.
I had a question about seeing that the thoughts are not you.
Yes.
I don't see that the thoughts are not me yet. Does that come in time?
Yes.
Okay.
And the only reason you're not seeing it right away, right now, because you so identify with thoughts and emotions. All your life, you've been thinking that they were real. You've been thinking that they were you. You were thinking that they were necessary. And no one never told you growing up, hey, emotions are not necessary. You are not your thoughts. Let it pass. Had someone told you that, you would not be in that dark space of the imagination.
Yeah, that's interesting that you mentioned that about not. Did you just say not needing the emotions, right?
Right. Emotions are not necessary at all.
Yeah. Sometimes people say, as a common phrase, they say, you need to control your emotions. You need to whatever. But I was just thinking the other day that, I can't control my emotions.
Right.
Like in terms of, if I try, this might sound funny, but I tried to just make myself happy. Like I really concentrate on it, but like nothing happened. I just felt like an idiot.
Absolutely.
Nothing happened. And yeah. So,
that's why I tell the people who think they have a free will, especially the Christians, but the people who think they have, okay, if you have a free will, make yourself happy. Never be unhappy again. They can't do it because they don't have a free will. You absolutely don't have a free will.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anybody who can, but I know I can't.
No one can. Even the person that get on drugs, they can't make themselves happy because after a while, the drug they start out with is not even enough. They need more and more and more to try to make themselves happy, and they can't do it. Aaron, have you forgiven your mother?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yep. I called you about that. I called a while ago. The first time I called, it had just become, it wasn't becoming noisy, but I had just noticed the noise.
Yeah.
And then now I've stuck on that, and it's been and now I'm just kind of, now I just don't know. I'm just realizing how much I don't know. And
absolutely.
Then, even admitting to you now, it's just because the thought had just came this morning that I just listen to you and then I go, yeah, the thoughts aren't me. It's devil. And I like that idea.
Yeah.
But I realize that I don't actually see that the thoughts are not me. Because I'm seeing so many other things now that now I can admit that I do not fully see that the thoughts are not me.
Absolutely.
So I was just wondering if it takes time.
The fact that you can see the thoughts are not you, they're not. You're on your way to seeing. You're now seeing, nice. And it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. You know what's so interesting to me is that we are literally not our thoughts. We're not our bodies. We're not our emotions. But yet, someone would tell you something stupid like, oh, you got to control your emotions. How you going to control something that's not you? You know what I mean? And
yeah. Well, I get scared. When someone tells me that, I get scared because I'm like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. So then I actually lie and act like I'm controlling my emotions. But I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared of what that means. There's like, I feel like they're gonna do something to me. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I'll control them now.
I know. And also, it's crazy that in all human beings, there's not one. In all human beings, we listen to a thought. It's just a thought. It's an empty thought until we overreact to it. Other than that, it's just a thought. And it has nothing to do with anything. And yet we listen to it and we believe it. Whether it's making us feel good or bad or scared or whatever, right? It's just a thought. That's all it is. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing how crazy it is over time because in the beginning, I'm not going to lie, I was afraid to not, to see it as just a thought.
Yeah.
You're saying it so simply, but I was afraid to do that. And then as I realized, as I see that I'm still not dead yet, because that's how it feels. It feels like I'm about to die. And then as I see that I'm still not dead, it's like that whatever controlled me to see it as more than a thought is slowly like reducing.
Yes.
And it's like day by day. It's like, okay, we're still not dead yet.
Right. And it's the seeing of it, the fact that you're seeing a little bit of it, it is dying. The light is destroying the darkness. So just stay with it.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, buddy. Amazing. I want to show you real fast. There's one line open now, 888-77-JESSE. I want to show you what they're doing in the public schools now. And this is yet more proof that mothers do not love their children, period. I don't care what you say, how emotional you are about it, and how whatever you're supposed to be feeling. You don't love your children. Mothers do not love children. They don't. They lie, they cry, they carry it on, pretend they do, but they don't. Schools are now making screen boxes. According to X, schools are now making screen boxes for students as a form of therapy. Watch this. They're teaching them to scream in boxes like that's going to help them. And you send your children to school every day because you don't love them to put them through more hell. Isn't that amazing? Think about that. And then you go to the city council and complain. Oh, why are you doing this to our children? And you go the next morning send them off. And one quick example as to why you should not let evil consume you. Watch this from X.
Do not race down my street again.
I was only going 25 miles an hour.
You're crazy. I got 5 people saying who's racing down the street.
Do you realize I'm a part of a company?
Yeah, you're right. And you're going to lose your job because I got your truck number.
Well, they realize...
No, they don't realize you don't race around a residential track. Period.
Every time I drive, they know how many miles I'm driving.
How about your...
It does matter.
It doesn't matter.
It does. Because if you're saying I'm wrong...
You're wrong.
And they're watching me...
You're wrong. You're wrong.
You're wrong.
You. You're...
Don't... Oh, you just hit me? You just hit me? Hold on. What?
You spit my face.
Him. He just hit me.
You spit my face, you b****.
Yeah. And I'm going to spit in your face. After he hit me, and I had a fight.
You spit my face.
After he hit me and I had a fight with him, she's telling him to go inside. Why are you telling him to go inside after I had to hit him? Nope. I don't care.
Amazing, huh? And yet you love your anger. You think Jesus was angry. So you love your anger. And this is what you get. What a mess. What a mess. Anger is evil, folks. It has nothing to do with God. God did not give you a spirit of anger. That's come from your wicked heart. That is from the wicked heart. Look like his nose will believe. What the? Let me go to Charles out of Michigan. Charles, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse. Good to hear your voice.
Hey,
Jesse.
Charles.
All right. Punchy. Yeah. I just called. I want to say I enjoyed the show, man. Enjoying your show, man. Morning show is really good. You got some very good pointers.
Thank you, man.
And Sunday was amazing. Sunday service fellowship.
The fellowship. Check out the fellowship, folks, by going to rebuildingtheman.com/church. It was an absolutely amazing fellowship.
It was. It was off the chain. It was off the hook.
Oh,
but I like the comment you made about, let people, you cannot save people or help people in certain ways.
Yep.
And let people have their lives.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. I have a situation like that I'm dealing with. And I try to love one. You try to help them and stay around, but you have to step back.
You have to let them go, Charles, or they'll destroy you. Let people live their lives. Don't try to change their life based on your life.
Right. Yeah, Anna told me to tell you hello and
right
all is well.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Charles.
Okay, appreciate talking with you.
All right,
Take care.
All right.
He's
from home school, As a matter of fact, he married my first girlfriend's sister. One of her sisters. Oh, amazing. Jennifer is the first time caller out of Colorado. Jennifer, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you. I was listening for a little while, and I'm a mother of 8 children.
8?
And 8, yes.
Are you white?
And I am white, yes.
White babies!
Actually, my husband is Cambodian.
Oh, I take it back then.
So, but I don't send my children to public schools for the exact reason on why you don't think that children should be in school.
Nice.
They're teaching them all the wrong things.
Yeah, absolutely.
My husband is a Hebrew, so I know him as Yahuwah, and my children will grow up knowing him as Yahuwah because, my husband is a preacher, and I preach all the time. But I love your show. I watch you all the time when I can.
Thank you.
When I'm not busy with my kids.
Right.
But, yeah, I wanted to put my 2 cents in because I don't agree with public schools at all.
Nice. You love your children. That's rare. Most mothers do not love their children. They'll rather go to work and thinking that they're being like a man, and they'll let their kids suffer, and they pretend to love them, but they don't.
Yes, and I won't let my children suffer like I did. So
God bless you.
I just wanted to say that because I suffered in school.
Yeah.
And I won't let my kids suffer in school.
Right on. That's amazing, Jennifer. At least one mother in America loves her children. You are a good example of that.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that, Jennifer. Thanks for calling.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Nice. Super chat. Super
chats. On buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, No Mo Thoughts says, Jesse, you talk a lot about how crazy and bad the world is these days. I know from listening to your show that you are not really too worried about anything. Could you say that more often? When you don't mention it, it seems like you are actually concerned, and that confuses me.
Well, I don't want you to be confused. So be aware, I'm not worried about what's happening in the world at all. I don't even think about it. It's just that I do see what's going on, and I understand it. And it's a mess, and it's going to get worse. And I'm warning the people so that they will wake up before it's too late, and they can be in the world but not of it. But you got to wake up and live from within. The kingdom of heaven is within. Amazing. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it.
Also on Buy Me a Coffee, Being Enlightened Till I Rise, 15 coffees on JLP Talks, Buy Me a Coffee. Morning, gentlemen.
Good
was just
morning.
eating some cats with some Haitian immigrants. Tastes like chicken. When I realized Biblical question answer.
Why is your life one collision after another?
It's because I believe I'm the one driving, like an Asian woman who can't see above the steering wheel. Whoa, I disavow. I believe the imagination and all its false ideas. It is indeed the biggest trick the devil plays on me, making me think I'm in control. So, of course, all there is a mess. Relief. Salute.
Amazing. If you were to drop your anger and then doubt every thought, you would literally have paradise immediately right here on earth. You don't have to wait until you die. Everything has been done. It is finished. The kingdom of heaven is done, and it's within. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Being Enlightened Till I Rise. P.S. says Being Enlightened Till I Rise. Amazing shows, by the way, on Punchy.tv. Hake, Anchor Baby, and Joelle spreading truth through discussion like men. Strong arm and cool sunglasses. Sorry it wasn't pithy, Hake.
Thank you. Check out Punchy, Punchie.tv. Punchy.tv.
Pastor Chatelet with a Rumble rant. 2 beta soy boys in a row blaming the white man. Top.
It's like you really don't know how bad it is, how evil it is. It's pure evil to blame someone else for your issues as an adult. It's pure evil. You're lost. You are saying out loud, I am a lost victim when you blame other people. No one is to blame. That's why I'm telling the white people who hate the Jews, those who hate the Jews are not to blame for your problem. What's that? You sound like the blacks. Stop blaming the Jews. And if you can't make a living for yourself, go and ask the Jews how to do it. They'll tell you, I think. And if they don't tell you, pull the hat or something like you're a Jew. They'll tell you then. But they'll tell you. Amazing. Thank you.
Another from Pastor Chatelet. 3 betas! Triple exclamation mark. Ah ha ha.
What the?
Maybe that's what he meant.
Thank you.
Thank you. I can't remember which callers.
Me.
Nick LaBoy with a Rumble rant. Morning. All the things these black folks are whining about, I think he's saying. He says winning about, probably whining about.
Yeah.
They voted for it and contributed to by voting Democrat or rhinos in. Should be paying attention to character and morality.
That's a good point. Thank you. Amazing.
The Miami Herald says Donnie Girl's idea, Rumble rant, is still up about the 2018 Doral Hotel Trump shooting gunman who said he was a P. Diddy and sex slave. Oh, 6 years later, and now it's not so far-fetched, wicked, and twisted.
I don't know what he's referring to, but okay.
I vaguely saw something. It sounds somewhat familiar. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don, but I'm not familiar as to what you respond to it at all at this point.
D-A-W-N, it's a she.
Oh, thank you, Don. Amazing.
Urinal Chills with a Rumble rant. He's a monthly supporter. Says,
Thank
Jesse,
you.
Tell them about the pit to hell you saw.
Over in Israel.
Yeah.
We went over to the gates of hell in Israel. You got to go to Israel. As I said, if I were God, and in order for you to come into my heaven, kingdom of heaven, you will have to have gone to Israel on earth while you live, right? And we went over to the gates of hell, and it was dark. We looked down in it. You only go right at the gate, and it's like a dark tunnel, tomb or something, tunnel. And darkness like I've never seen before. Amazing. Thank you.
Greenwald with the diamond. Color Purple's author is anti-Semitic. Harpo, what the?
You told Harpo to beat me. All my life I've been beat by men.
Jesse's been talking about how the blacks hating the Jews ever since the so-called civil rights thing.
I'm surprised how much the black hate the Jews too. That's something new. When I was growing up, blacks and Jews love one another because the Christian blacks understood that Christianity came from Judaism, and so they felt a kinship spiritually. Really. That's why I wanted to go to Israel. And when I grew up, I went to Israel. Amazing. Thank you.
Also, thank you, Greenwald, for the tip. C on C, 3 coffees, Jesse, darling. The old people haters who knew him in those days as a real estate mogul, wealthy and rich haters of President Donald Trump, literally hate him because he accomplished so much. They're jealous. I think they're jealous, that's what it is.
Yeah.
If they had the chance to do what he did, they couldn't have done it. But they're just jealous that he managed to come this far. Standing strong. Strong black arm emoji because she's black. Becoming the U.S. president and shook the world up.
Right on. And you have a very good point. They are jealous. They are jealous. And rather than learning from him, they want to get rid of him. Isn't that a shame? Thank you, see a very good point.
Queen Cutie Pie with a coffee. Trump will win because it will dishearten those like the True the Vote. They will find little shenanigans. The primaries for Congress were more important. A lot of too close primaries for rhinos. Congress writes law. A rhino Congress will hog-tie Trump. Tie his hands. He will be forced to focus on the executive branch. If he afueras the bureaucracy, will help tremendously give the states and the people back their sovereignty.
Piffy!
Thank you, Queen.
That's not piffy.
Right. Also, that's Spanish. Gets rid of the bureaucracy. Afuera, bureaucracy. I think that's what she said. Thank you, Queen Cutie Pie.
Thank you, Queen Cutie Pie. Appreciate it. I'm out of time.
But pithy and cute next time.
Yeah, piffy Queen Cutie Pie.
We'll read the rest tomorrow, hopefully.
If you really want to be Queen Cutie Pie, piffy. The Hake Report coming up now. TheHakeReport.com. And then Joy on Friday TV at 11 a.m. And after that, 4 p.m., The American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. Thank you for your super chat. We'll finish the rest tomorrow if the Lord is willing. And the Creed don't rise. Bible Thumper tomorrow. Bible Thumper Thursday. And to, is it Seren? Seren. Justin, a first-time call out of Florida. Rick out of Virginia. Paul, first-time call out of Michigan. And the caller just dropped. I'm out of time. But I'll be back tomorrow if the Lord is willing. And the creek don't rise. Bible Thumper Thursday. Get on the straight and narrow, folks, and stay there. And when you've done all you can do to stay there some more. Do the silent prayer, rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. Forgive your mama and your daddy, all people, and you shall be free. You shall be free. And you can have freedom right here on earth. Take care, folks. See you tomorrow. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they will become it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-4